the most consistent sides in the EFL this year with just one loss. East Burwood finished in 4th place with 5 losses.
There is no greater start to a sporting event in Australia than to hear the national anthem before the football, and we have it today with the Division 1 Grand Final in First Division of the Eastern Football League. Looking forward to bringing you the action today on the Channel 31 Eastern Footy Show from the Bayswater Oval. It's East Ringwood taking on East Burwood, a clash we've been looking forward to for some time, and no doubt these sides are raring to go. The umpires are in readiness. A massive crowd at the Bayswater Oval, still spewing into the Oval, and looking forward to bringing you all the action as well. Joining us in commentary, it's a very good afternoon to Bob Young.
Good afternoon to you, Andrew. What a fantastic crowd here at the Bayswater Oval for this season 2002 Grand Final. There's still 50 to 60 metre queues at the gates, just about to at the match time start, which is of course 2:30. Fantastic atmosphere, Andrew.
Well, directly in front of our commentary position, they are lined up 20 deep down to the boundary line, so looking forward to great action as we see the camera pounding around the oval. They are lined around the ground at the Bayswater Oval. Possibly no greater venue for football than that in the outer east of Melbourne. Looking forward to bringing you all the action. Peter Maloney joins us in commentary for the Division 1 Grand Final from the Bayswater Oval. Looking forward to bringing you the action on the Eastern Footy Show. Bob Young in commentary, and special comments today from Peter Maloney, the coach of the Croydon Footy Club. Peter, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Andrew and Bob. Great to be here. I've got goosebumps already, and I'm only sitting up here in the box. It's unbelievable.
Looking forward to bringing you the action. As we see, the umpires are ready. The ball is in the centre of the Bayswater Oval. That's what it's all about this afternoon. And as we said, umpire Mark Lawson, number 14, ready for the bounce. And umpire Jason Kennedy as well, officiating in this big match. We're in the shadows of the Dandenong Ranges with the crowd swelling at the Bayswater Oval. Looking forward to today's big Division 1 clash. Bob Young, you will be getting us underway with commentary to start this game. And as we said, the crowd absolutely enjoying it. The sun is out at 25 degrees, probably pushing 25 degrees, and a wind blowing to the right of screen. East Burwood won the toss and will be kicking to the right of screen. And therefore, that, of course, being the Mountain Highway end, East Ringwood to the left. Siren underway. Bob, it's all yours.
Okay, as umpire Mark Lawson has the Collect Sharon in hand, just about to start this 2002 Grand Final. Up goes the Collect Sharon. We're underway. Slater got the first knock down into the centre there to follow. Couldn't quite handle it. Bounce was awkward in that hard cricket pitch area. As umpire Lawson said, it wasn't going anywhere, and there will be another ball up.
Free kick too.
It is a free kick. It's going to go to East Ringwood there. Looks as though it may have been Taylor.
Wearing number 8, I think, Bob.
It looks that way. We had him down as 9, but we'll call him 8. Ball on the half-forward line over there by that scoreboard. Young punched it over there, and out of bounds it went for a throw-in at the scoreboard side of the ground. 40 seconds into this first quarter. No score yet to either side. A crackerjack game here for the 2002 Grand Final. In comes the ball. No ruck contest there of any consequence. McMaster was in there trying hard for East Ringwood. The ball squirts out now, going towards the boundary line. Matthews Herald for East Burwood forces it forward, close to the boundary line over there. Boy, oh boy, Adam White got a hard one and just flicked it across the boundary line for a throw-in.
They've isolated Houlihan down at full forward and just kept him a really open forward line for East Burwood.
Okay, well, that'll certainly suit the mercurial goal kicker there, Peter.
Yeah, great day for him.
Okay, ball on that centre wing outer side. We're a minute and a half into this first quarter. Ball pushed to the front of the pack. Players jumping in from all points of the compass. East Ringwood do squirt it out of there, go down the half forward. Little fella in underneath there was McCormick, but it's close to the boundary line again. And that will be a throw in, half forward flank, outer side. East Ringwood coming into attack.
1.5 minutes played in this Division 1 Grand Final. East Ringwood and East Burwood. 1984 was the last Grand Final victory in the division in the seniors for East Ringwood. They're looking to make amends as the ball came out, directed towards McCormick, but taken by East Burwood as they go up towards centre half forward. Houlihan up with the fly, falls down towards the path of Dipyedamenico, flies up towards full forward. Shot on goal is just offline and through for one behind. First score of the day going East Burwood's way. There's one behind.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Look, East Burwood have just been told to kick the ball along. Ash Martin come through and he could have spotted a couple of guys. Went straight over the top, and those guys who were in between just went straight to the front of Houlihan there. Good running.
Got his hands to it, Peter, but just couldn't quite bring it in.
Yeah, look, it's going to be testing. I mean, it's a good day for marking, but it'll still be testing to take the marks. There's a lot of carry on the ball.
So, Danny Lee to bring the ball back into play for East Ringwood. Comes up towards the grandstand side. Up go the Flyers. Grayling plucked it out of the air. Great fly for East Ringwood. Grayling with the ball, grandstand side, darts around the opponent and plays on, kicks into his man on the mark, on this occasion Hislop. Hislop fires in towards full forward, shot on goal, left foot snap, Hislop just offline. So a couple of shots early for East Burwood, just offline, and on our scoreboard, it's 2 behinds, 2 points to East Ringwood yet to score.
Well, Andrew, 5 to 20 knots is the breeze from left to right of screen, we understand. East Burwood have got to put pressure on the scoreboard with that breeze behind them in this first quarter.
And Danny Lee again to bring the ball back into play for East Ringwood. Up towards the outer side this time. Flies again, Grayling over the pack. Great mark, Grayling is on fire. And plays on, kicks up towards the centre wing, outer side. Battle on for it. No mark pay, which was the right decision as the play is locked up on the centre wing outer side. Hand pass out now for out to Fraser for East Ringwood. Smothered though. East Burwood drive up towards Houlihan territory. It's 1-on-1. Houlihan couldn't get his hands to it. East Ringwood have numbers at the forward of the ball and they'll see it over the line for another behind. So 3 behinds to East Burwood. East Ringwood yet to score.
Peter, they're not giving Houlihan any peace down there when the ball comes into 50.
No, look, Grayling's going to have a... Look, he started off well, and he's the one manning up on Houlihan, so it's a really good matchup, I thought, for East Ringwood.
Okay, well, Danny Lee to bring the ball back in as he has on 3 occasions so far, or 2 occasions so far, this being the 3rd. He's decided to go to the outer side again, a bit of a helicopter kick. It's inside 50, still off the top of the pack was Crowley. Ball now, umpire said yes, it was too high in that East Burwood player, which is Matthews Herald. And he will take the kick. He's too far out to score. He's probably the best part of 80 metres out. Drives it along, though, into 50. Can he find Houlihan? No, he can't. Over the boundary line, it went for a throw-in.
Not a bad option to give them time to set up something in that forward pocket, East Burwood. Just dribbling over the boundary line.
Well, as we see it so far, Andrew, and Peter, you probably agree with me, Houlihan's the only option. They've got no one else dropping back in.
Yeah, well, sorry, I'll let you call this.
Okay, East Burwood with a shot from about 45 out. I think that is their first goal of the game. It certainly is. Great effort there by Dipyedamenico, son of course, the Brownlow medalist, Robert Dipyedamenico.
Yeah, look, he's been really dangerous. He's been really nippy running across half forward. And look, he's had 2 or 3 kicks already and been pretty dangerous for them.
Okay, well, the first goal on the board to East Burwood. So East Burwood 1-3-9. East Ringwood yet to score. And that goal was kicked at the 5.25 minute mark of the first quarter.
So umpire Mark Lawson to get us underway again. So it's 9 points leading East Ringwood yet to score. Out of the centre goes Knight up towards the right forward flank, punch clear. Still with Knight again for East Ringwood. Drives up towards the right forward flank and finds his teammate McCormick. McCormick plays on right foot in towards full forward region. Looking for his full forward. Couldn't take it on that occasion. Falls down towards deep in the pocket. Close to the boundary line and almost over. But out towards McMaster. Manages to tidy up. Centering kick and finds Houston. But umpire calls play on.
Porter was in there too.
Yep. So we'll have a ball about 20 metres out from the East Ringwood goal.
Good work from McMaster. He got the ball out of the middle and he followed up and got the ball again. So that's what they need running into the wind, East Ringwood. They've got to get a lot of run with the football.
So a blood rule. It's East Ringwood. So a bit of a stoppage in play. East Ringwood 1-3-9. Lead East Ringwood yet to score. In fact, the first time it's been forward for East Ringwood. And so first blood rule of the day. but the pace has been frantic early in this term.
Look, I would think that East Ringwood would really want to try and stop this game, stop East Burwood's run. Look, they're kicking with a pretty stiff breeze, and in the first quarter they can't afford to let them get away with a bleed. So what they're going to try and do is push the ball out wide over the boundary line, will create a lot of stoppages.
Yep. So Porter off and Froggy Fenton comes on for East Ringwood. Ball up, and the ball comes out for East Burwood. They try and clear, but all locked up again. Gee, it's fast and furious at the contest, which is good to see. Comes up towards a switch on the grandstand side, and picked up by Nickel, who drives the ball up towards the left forward flank and finds Knight. So John Knight, right foot kick, a little bit skew off the side of the boot. Up go the Flyers. No mark taken. The defenders come in for East Burwood. Nielsen is at the contest, and the umpire calls another ball up.
John Knight's certainly had a lot of the ball, Peter, in this first 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, he knows where to get the football. He reads the play really well, and that's what they need him for.
Again, Lawson throws the ball up. It was Shears out of the ruck. Shot on goal is just offline and through for one behind. So first score of the day for East Ringwood. However, they trail East Burwood 1 goal 3-9. East Ringwood 1 behind.
Huge crowd here at the Bayswater Oval. Biggest crowd I've seen in years. We would reckon somewhere in the vicinity of 10 or 12,000 as the ball comes in. They go wide to the outer side over there, East Burwood. And is it Arthurson over there? Not too sure. Arthurson now. Bang, down he goes through that centre wing area to the far side of that centre square. Off hands there, Nickel. Ball close to the boundary line and a throw in once again.
That's a great defensive punch. It's exactly what he needs to do. While they're kicking into the breeze, they've just got to keep knocking it towards the boundary line, trying to stop play.
Okay, so Taylor to do the ruck work in the forward line for East Ringwood. He'll be up against Adam Slater. Slater at the back got his right hand to it, pushed it down in front. East Ringwood working it around there. Fraser got it forward. It's wide over there. I was going to say close to the boundary line, but it came in there. East Burwood smothered kick. Gee, it's tight in the clinches there, boy. And umpire Mark Lawson has found an infringement, and that will go to Shears. The captain of the East Ringwood side. Shears now drives the ball along to the half-forward line, right down there in front of the scoreboard. Oh, McMaster come out. Beautiful mark. And as you can see, the 50-metre line is just in front of him as our camera pans forward. So McMaster now has a pot shot right from that scoreboard, right to the top of the square. Whoa, boy, Froggy Fenton in front of the pack couldn't quite pull it down. It's absolutely feverish in there. Boy, oh boy, do you think Hislop didn't go in hard for East Burwood? But umpire Kennedy has said no, it wasn't going anywhere, and we will have a ball up.
The good thing for East Ringwood is they're starting to get a lot more of the football, starting to push it in towards 50, and that's crucial kicking into the wind.
Slater and Cameron. Cameron, in fact, got it from the back of the pack, push forward. Slater was smothered there. Arthurson gets it again for East Burwood, right down here in front of our commentary position. Goodale all locked up, does get hands. That was terrific play. Dippy Domenico, son of, goes forward to Houlihan, but he missed Houlihan by about 3 or 4 metres. And as you can see, Danny Lee will pick the ball up for East Ringwood. Now you've got to come back over his mark, says umpire Henry Lawson, or Grayling it is. Grayling decides to switch play, goes short over there. He's looking for Hooper. Hooper now just outside 50, lets one rip to the wing on the outer side over there. He's looking for, I think it's Downs. No, it wasn't Downs, it was Bazaglo just inside the boundary line, and that will be a throw-in. We're at the 10-minute mark here of the first quarter in this 2002 grand final, with East Burwood leading 1-1-7. East Ringwood just the one behind.
So I'll wait to check that scoreboard, because we did have 1-3, nevertheless the goal umpires no doubt will sort that out. As Bob said, 10-minute mark of this first term in the Division 1 Grand Final. Plays just inside the centre square. Hand pass squirts out to East Burwood to favour East Burwood. Kick up inside 50. Houlihan trying to race the ball, but Grayling beats him to it and does very well. Very good defensive work by Grayling, but only as far as East Burwood again on the outer side. Series of handballs. Nielsen got his hand to it, off towards Matthews Herald. Matthews Herald shot up towards the flank. Picked up by Shanahan, who got his hands clear. Houlihan lurking in the left forward pocket. Shot on goal. Difficult angle. Fantastic effort. Houlihan. What a goal, East Burwood.
Unbelievable. Damien Houlihan.
He actually had someone inside too, and he just ignored it and went straight for the goal.
Well, that's what the people certainly come to see, and the lad hasn't let him down. Fantastic effort.
That's why he's down there in the goal square. You know, they're just going to isolate him, just get the ball down to him, because that's the sort of thing that he can do. And it's shown in the last 2 finals games he's done that. virtually won the game off his own boot, and it's important that he plays well for them today if they're a chance to win.
Well, Andrew, I think we'll go with our score at 2 goals, 3-15, leading East Ringwood, 1 behind. Danny Lee has certainly kicked the ball in from a point on 3 occasions. Okay, ball to the outer side of that centre square area. Bazaglo goes forward to the half-forward line. Bit of basketball over there. And as you can see, as close to the boundary line
running.
again, but East Ringwood do squirt it in. Houston racing towards the boundary line, but this time, oh, I was going to say it was over again. I'm calling it before it actually goes out. A shot out there right to the top of the square, but it's wide. And that will be just the one behind. So East Ringwood now 2 behinds. They're trailing East Burwood 2-3-15.
Good running by Bazaglo, who was just in the centre of the ground. Got his kick away and then kept running. And what junior coaches encourage footballers to do, it's good to see the senior players just leading by example.
So Nielsen to take the, Nielsen to take the kick in for East Burwood. He got it down to the 50-metre arc there. Ball was smothered there by Danny Young. And the ball found the boundary line once again. Danny Young, 100 games today, so well done to him. And likewise to Kane Fraser for 50. And, of course, the 200-game player is Jabba Clark. Ball over there on the wing on the outer side. Houston waiting at the back of the pack, but it won't squirt out to him. Boy, oh boy, it came out to Fraser, though. Didn't go all that far. East Ringwood now with a shot to the top of the square. Oh, no, it's wide and just one behind.
Bad effort.
Wasn't a bad effort.
There's a good match-up there with Goodale, Kane Fraser. I think those two guys have already had a few words in a bit of a shoving match, and it's a good match-up. They're going to play. He's going to play tight on Goodale because even though he's got a bit of the football, he's not going to take any rubbish.
Well, they're going to cover a lot of territory, those two guys, Peter, because they just never give up, either of them.
No.
And a free kick downfield going the way of East Burwood for an infringement just at centre half back.
Arthurson, let's go. A bomb. He's gone from half back to half forward. Oh, at the back of the pack, Grayling. What a mark. That will take some beating, Andrew, for mark of the day. Grayling comes over here in front of our commentary position, and he has found Danny Lee. Danny Lee working a long way from his kick-in position at full back. He goes down to the half-forward line. It's hard here. Porter's got it. Porter has a shot from about 45 out. Goes to the top of the square. Oh, Nielsen, did he mark it? Umpire said he did. And Chad Nielsen, what a good mark. Gets out to centre half forward, and he's found Adam Slater. Said thank you very much to Cameron Taylor. Slater now, he drives the ball to the front end of that centre square area, punched away from Hollow. Ball to the front of the pack. Boy, it's a 1-on-2 situation. Look at this little fella in Ash Martin. But again, out comes Lee.
Over the shoulder.
Too high, said the umpire. And the ball will come back to Danny Lee. We've played 14 minutes into this first quarter. East Burwood 2-3-15. They're leading East Ringwood 3 straight behinds.
So Danny Lee kicks up towards the left forward. Thank good marking defence by Arthurson. The ever-reliable Arthurson.
He's had a lot of the ball too, Peter.
Yeah, look, he's been solid as a rock down there and just kicking the ball long. Like he's getting 60 metres with every kick.
So with play in the centre of the centre square. Shot out by Shanahan. They keep the ball moving. East Burwood up towards full forward reach, but a kick emerged and taken by Hooper. So Hooper for East Ringwood comes up towards grandstand side and almost found Fraser. Fraser trying to find it himself, manages to gather, puts onto the right boot, close to the boundary line and a good mark taken. And Porter with the ball kicks up just almost inside 50. But the defenders for East Burwood come to the floor. A big spiral punt just inside the centre square. No mark taken. Falls down towards Hooper again and receives a free kick and advantage paid going to Fraser. Fraser shot inside 50. No mark paid or no mark taken. And another free kick paid. So the umpire's just stamping their authority on the game. Smith with the free kick goes up towards the outer side and finds Matthews Herald. Matthews Herald now up towards the outer side wing. Good mark taken as East Burwood now have an opportunity. That's Ginny Antonio. We talked about it off air before, Bob, but finds Houlihan in the left forward pocket. So Houlihan in a very tight angle close to the boundary line after a kick by John Dinny, Bob.
Just breaking in there, Andrew. Dinny Colantonio, when he first came to East Burwood from Box Hill, he had a mate with him. He had a real tongue twister too. His name was Traian Tafilopoulos.
Glad he's not playing tonight.
So we're with Houlihan, left forward pocket, up towards the Mountain Highway end of the ground, or the southern end, which is where the breeze is favouring. Taking his time, Houlihan. Very tight angle. Right foot, drop punt kick. Goal umpire has absolutely no doubt whatsoever. A great goal to East Burwood. Their third for the day.
And the second one to Houlihan, and gee, Peter Maloney, he could be the difference between the two sides.
Look, Grayling's doing a good job in general terms. The problem is that he's not getting help from his midfielders. They just seem to be running the ball through East Burwood a little bit too easy. They've got to put a bit more pressure on through the midfield, East Ringwood. They can cut out that drive. That helps Grayling out a little bit.
Okay, we're 17 minutes into the first quarter here at the Bayswater Oval in this 2002 Grand Final. Up we go once again. Adam Slater took it out of the ruck. A little bit of a handball backwards, but that was all squashed. As umpire Kennedy said, no, the play was locked up, and there will be a ball up just beside that centre circle area. Up goes the Colic Sharon once again. Slater got it wide. He was over there. He was actually looking for Shanahan. Didn't quite find him. East Burwood now coming forward. John Denny was just off the ball, couldn't quite get to the bounce of it there, as umpire Kennedy again has said that the ball wasn't going anywhere, and there will be another ball up. The front end for East Burwood of that centre square. Up we go. Ball out, John Denny now. What's he going to do with it? There's a little bit of a potshot over here to Ash Martin. Ash Martin's inside 50 from 40. Has a flying shot, but he's going to be wide, and that goes through for just the one behind. Peter Maloney had plenty of time then, but just couldn't quite steady.
He'll be very disappointed with that. I know he played Croydon, he kicked 10 goals and didn't look like missing anything. But, yeah, look, he's been good. He's running well. He finds the space well, you know, and I think there's no doubt he's a target, and because he finishes so well that you know, Houlihan will be on the end of a lot of his kicks.
So Danny Lee to bring the ball back in now for East Ringwood. A bit of a helicopter shot outside 50 over there. Hollow couldn't quite take it. Whoa, Hollow over the top there. Umpire looking closely. Now he decides to blow the whistle, and that will be a ball up.
Look, I think Dougie Barker is pretty happy with what he's seeing so far.
He's got a bit of pressure on that scoreboard in the first quarter. There's no doubt about that. Ball squirts out. East Ringwood now going forward down through that outer side. Crowley has it. Wide, East Ringwood now down towards 50. Oh, I was going to say it was going for it at the back, couldn't
Free
quite
kick.
bring it in. Free kick, is it, Andrew?
Yep, going the way of Douglas.
Douglas to take it. So Adam Douglas will kick from about 40 metres out, 45-degree angle. Certainly a gettable kick from that distance and that angle. So Adam Douglas, been a grand player for his side. Comes in, lets one rip. Boy, oh boy, it's going across the face. It won't be a goal. What a mark. It was Shears.
No, he hasn't paid it. Oh, no.
Got plucked out of his hands on the way down, unfortunately, but you'd just pay it for effort, wouldn't you?
Boy, oh boy. Well, two good umpires, Peter, and probably the best two umpires in the comp. And, yeah, they're a bit closer to the action than we are. So Chad Nielsen to bring it back in for East Burwood. Gets it outside 50. Gayfer there. Punches the back of the bag. Hislop wraps up his man. East Ringwood now. What can they do with it? Knight has it. Had a lot of the ball in this first quarter. John Knight goes to centre half forward. Nielsen from the back of the pack. Couldn't quite pull it in for East Burwood. And as you can see there, Goodale is pretty much all wrapped up there. And there will be a ball up at the centre half forward or centre half back position, depending on which team you're following. And we're at the 20-minute mark here of the first quarter.
So, ball up just inside 50, punched away by Porter to favour East Ringwood. Picked up by Shears again, got his hands out. Now finds Fraser loose in front of the scoreboard. Fraser puts it on the right boot up towards full forward. Up go the Fives with in defence Nielsen. He didn't take the mark according to the umpire. Fell out of his hands, will have a ball up just shy of the goal square.
Well, East Ringwood obviously looking for more speed. They've brought Fenton on and Commentators gone off, so they're obviously looking for a bit more leg speed.
East Burwood 3-4-22 by our reckoning. Lead East Ringwood 4 behinds. Punched away close to the boundary line. It's kept in. Players dive on top of it and try and get a little kick away. But I think the boundary line might be the best option for everyone concerned, including the commentary team, where the ball is just locked up in that pocket.
Look, that's a good move for East Ringwood in a sense, because they're giving Commentator a bit of a rest. He's going to need it.
I notice Brad Campbell's about to come on, guys, for East Burwood.
I'll tell you what, I think it's a goal. It was, I think it might have been Crowley. A fantastic effort straight out of the pack. The ball just shot into his hands and he just found an opening.
Yeah, it certainly was.
Oh, what a goal.
Well,
First goal of the day to East Ringwood.
so on our reckoning then, East Burwood now 3-4-22. East Ringwood 1-4-10.
You just got to keep peppering away East Ringwood. You know, they're starting to get a little bit more of it, but they just tend to be blazing a little bit. Just got a bit more run.
So that East Burwood change, guys, was Luke Slater off and Brad Campbell on. The ball back in the centre. Coming out of it there, McCormick tried to push it forward for East Ringwood. Boy, oh boy, this is tight. Crowley in it after it. Again, he's got it. He handballs it out. Missed his target on that occasion. East Burwood now. Hislop in underneath it, grabs it. He'll go on the left foot there. This lovely player. Look at that, right down to Houlihan. Missed it. Grayling at the back. Boy, oh boy, Grayling first to recover, of course. Houlihan right on top of him, but Grayling again sidesteps him. Comes out here wide to Danny Lee. Danny Lee under the pump that takes the mark. Still under the pump, Danny Lee. He's wide under the pump. Great effort there by young Dipper. So Dippio Domenico, Dillon goes to centre half forward. Oh, off the top of the pack. Houlihan had his head pulled off. Umpire didn't see it. McMaster has a couple of bounces there for East Ringwood. He's got to get rid of it now because John Denny was in hot pursuit. Wide there, Bazaglo got it off. East Ringwood now going into attack to the half-forward line out of side. There's an East Burwood mark, and there's Nielsen again. Yep. Nielsen decides to switch position over there. He'll come across to Goodale. Goodale hands off there. East Burwood working well to Smith. Smith now down through the wing here, right in front of our commentary position, over the back of the pack. And I think that's going to be Nickel to see it over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Yeah, I don't think Doug would have been happy with that kick, really, coming through there. It should have been top of the goal square just about every time.
OK, well, a throw-in here on the East Burwood half-forward flank at the 23-minute mark here of the first quarter. Slated to do the ruck work for East Burwood. Can he get the bot in front? Takes it on the one hand. Couldn't quite control it, however. Whoa! he certainly had Fraser in a headlock there, so Fraser does get his kick. Good effort there by Arthurson.
Oh, no.
And Arthurson, no, he probably did interfere with Porter. What do you think, Peter Maloney?
Yeah, that was a good call because he went with one hand with the ball. The other hand was tucked around his jumper, so it was probably a good call.
OK, so Porter now. There he goes to the centre half forward position. Ball standing up in the breeze from the back of the pack. Was Gafer trying to force it forward, but East Ringwood now in the van. Round the corner goes Bazaglo, but he has missed. And that probably squares the two sides up. Peter Maloney, an easy miss. One was at this end of the ground, of course.
Yeah, look, you can't afford to miss too many opportunities. I mean, he was only 25 metres out, kicking into the wind. You really need those.
OK, well, Derek Coglan to do the kicking in now for East Burwood. Lovely kick outside 50. God, that got about 60 metres. Big Slater grabbed it. He couldn't quite control it. Off hands there. Wow, away goes Fraser. Right to the into 50, and that's an East Ringwood mark for sure.
Might have been Shears.
It certainly looks like Daniel Shears. It is. He's marked on a 45-degree angle, no more than 30 metres out, kicking towards that scoreboard end.
They kick this, and they can look at that scoreboard and be really satisfied with their first quarter. Even their first 2 minutes, they didn't get a lot of it. They could come back in a quarter time and be quite satisfied with their effort in the first quarter.
And guys, I noticed that the scoreboard attendants have obviously had something that agrees with them, because they've got the score right now at 3-4-22 as Shears has a pot shot. Umpire going across to his left, and that is just the one behind. So East Ringwood now 1 goal 6, and that could be a telling factor, Peter Maloney, towards the end of the game.
Yeah, but they're still getting their hands on it. You know, they're still peppering away, and I think you've still got to be pretty positive for the fact they're still having shots on goal, especially early.
OK, so it's 7 shots to 7. East Burwood have kicked alternatively 3-4 as Derek Coglan takes the kick in once again. Boy, another terrific kick. He was looking for Slater. He couldn't take it. Slater, his up ball. His kick was smothered again. Comes out there to McCormick. He couldn't quite grab it. McCormick does get hands off eventually. Bazaglo goes forward over there to McMaster. McMaster now goes wide over there looking for, I think it was Douglas. East Ringwood now coming into attack. There was Danny Young on that occasion to the top of the square, but East Burwood through Arthurson will relieve the pressure, and he'll go wide over there towards O'Malley. This terrific young lad from the East Burwood side, and it'll be a throw-in right in front of the scoreboard out of side. We're at the 25-minute mark of the quarter. 3-4-22 East Burwood, 1-6-12 East Ringwood.
So with the boundary umpire to bring us back into play just inside 50, or eventually inside 50, taken out of the ruck contest. No real winner out of that contest. Ball locked up, and no doubt a ball up to eventuate. Goal kickers at this stage of this game, the 26-minute mark. Houlihan with 2, and Dippio Domenico with 1 for East Burwood. Single goal kicker, obviously, for East Ringwood. We've given it to Crowley out of that contest just before. Just inside 50, the contest again, all locked up. We'll have another ball up. So a 10-point margin. Close to quarter time in the Division 1 Grand Final for season 2002. Doug Barwick is pacing the boundary line with white line fever. Again, just inside 50. and all locked up again.
Look,
So
this is just suits East Ringwood. This is what they want now. The Sirens not far away. They're only 10 points down, and they're kicking into a 2 or 3 goal breeze. Really, they've come back well, East Ringwood.
So, again with umpire Jason Kennedy, who puts us back into action, close to the boundary line, and probably the security of the boundary line is sought, and they find it eventually. And Goodale sees the ball over the line for East Burwood.
Andrew, I noticed that the green-bellied tin fish is the preferred beverage here this afternoon.
They're being gutted, Bob. The green-bellied tin fish. Boundary umpire throws it back in for us, gets us underway once again, out towards the player in McCormick. But East Burwood drive up towards the outer side wing. The race is on forward. Out there is Hollow, but picked up by Nickel. As Nickel dribbles a little kick up towards a teammate. Again, nothing eventuates, and the boundary line beats everyone. So boundary throwing outer side in front of a crowd that's enjoying the day. The barbecues are burning on the outer side. And
sure it's not this broadcast box on fire, Andrew.
No, it's nice and cool under the broadcast box, in the broadcast box, Bob. But East Burwood now drive into attack. Houlihan again, the target, but Grayling, well positioned. Grayling finds the forward of the ball and does very well to slap it back out deep into the pocket. The race is on for it. Picked up for the ball was Danny Lee with Dippy Domenico. They're at the contest. Fierce on the ground. They dive in on top of it. And we'll have another ball up. Left forward pocket.
Houlihan's just jumped too early on a few occasions. You know, he was obviously a good player, but he just missed a couple of opportunities there.
And there's the siren to end first quarter. And so at quarter time, East Burwood 3 goals for 22. Lead East Ringwood 1-6-12 in a very fast and furious first term in the Division 1 Grand Final. But as we said, 10-point margin to East Burwood in this season 2002 Division 1 Grand Final.
Welcome back. Just about to start quarter number... Start again. Welcome back. Just about to start quarter number 2 here. The Bayswater Oval for the Grand Final, Division 1 for season 2002. And at quarter time, East Burwood 3-4-22, leading East Ringwood 1-6-12. So 10 points in the game and a crackerjack first quarter it was. Umpire Jason Kennedy just waiting for the last of the people who hop off the ground, and he'll give Mark Lawson the thumbs up to commence. As you can see there, umpire Mark Lawson with the Colac Sherrin in hand in the centre of the ground, just about ready to commence. Fantastic crowd here at the Bayswater Oval as umpire Mark Lawson holds the Colac Sherrin aloft. And Andrew, get us underway.
Thanks very much, Bob. As Mark Lawson puts the pill down in the centre of the ground. Of course, it's East Burwood kicking to the left of the screen, East Ringwood to the right, as East Ringwood now drive forward, but a good marking defence by Arthurson. So Arthurson with the ball, just outside of the defensive 50 zone. Slaps it up towards the grandstand wing, close to the boundary line and over in front of our commentary position. And we'll have a ball in. So a 10-point margin in the First Division Grand Final, with wind favouring East Ringwood. As I said, kicking to the right of screen. That's where the wind is blowing, although it has died down to start this second term. Out towards Downs. Kicked off the ground by Bazaglo. Right forward flank now. Arthurson coming out of defence again. Hand pass off towards Martin. Martin met very heavily and a free kick paid Martin's way.
A little bit of play acting there, Andrew.
In fact, it's Arthurson's free kick. So Arthurson just weighing up his targets down the ground. Falls down towards Downs for East Ringwood. Cam Taylor's there. Bazaglo gets his hands out as East Ringwood now go forward. And I think Nickel was actually looking for hands off to Dougie Barwick on the bench for East Burwood, because that's where the ball has ended up. So directly in front of our commentary position, boundary throw-in. 1.5 minutes gone in this second term. Goodale at the bottom of the pack for East Burwood. And we'll have another ball up.
East Ringwood a little bit different setup this quarter. They've got McMaster down in the goal square.
So Cam Taylor coming over the top. The free kick going East Burwood's way. Goodale drives it towards the left forward pocket. Nobody home for East Burwood. Dippy Domenico putting the pressure on. Goodale fires up very well. Inside 50. Shot on goal. Goodale. What a fantastic effort. Goodale just offline and through for one behind. That would have been a sensational goal.
Well, that's the second one he's missed from close in there, Peter Maloney.
Grayling punched the ball right back into play. He was heading towards the boundary line. Not a good thing to do as a defensive player. He brought Goodale in, and really, if Goodale had kicked that, it would have been because of Grayling.
So East Ringwood 3-5-20. Sorry, East Burwood 3-5-23. Lead East Ringwood 1-6-12. Bob.
Okay, so East Ringwood to bring the ball back in, down towards our commentary position here. The main grandstand side of hands. East Ringwood now, can they burst through here? Certainly can.
Oh.
Houston got it down to Shears, and Shears right in front of the coach's box here. That's the East Burwood coach's box. He goes to centre half forward. Whoa, boy, oh boy, I don't know what O'Malley was thinking of there, but Arthurson backs up. He's having a brilliant game. Gets it out here to Shanahan. Shanahan, the racehorse on the wing on the outer side. He's got to kick it because Taylor was in hot pursuit over there. He goes to half forward. It's an East Burwood mark in front of the pack there. It may well have been, was it Coughlin? Not too sure. East Burwood now, Houlihan with a banana. Houlihan, he kicked it! Great effort!
Another banana.
Damien Houlihan, a banana again for his third goal. What a kick.
Just the confidence of him in a grand final and coming deep in the pocket and even just try a banana. I mean, great effort.
Wow, wow, wow. Well, as we said in the first quarter, he's the sort of player people come to see, and he certainly hasn't let him down.
Well, we thought East Ringwood would have come out of that quarter-time break with a little bit more fire in the belly with the wind favouring them, but East Burwood are still at the contest. As bursting through the contest comes, I think it was Smith. As East Burwood up towards centre half forward, coming around the contest. Hand pass off to Goodale, running through. Goodale up towards the left forward pocket. Houlihan couldn't bring it down. Out towards Lee now, who mops up for East Ringwood. Throws us back up towards the grandstand side. Centre wing as Shears goes very hard against Matthews Herald, but back towards Fraser. Hand pass off. As again, McCormick comes in through the centre of the ground to switch play.
Matthews Herald on his hands and knees. He didn't read that one too well.
Porter took a good mark on the outer side for East Ringwood. Now they have an opportunity to go forward and be productive with it. As the shot up towards full forward region, nobody's home for East Ringwood. In fact, it falls out of the pack and over the boundary line.
Gee, Danny Young was quickly onto that, Peter.
Yeah, look, he's very opportunistic. He's down there for a reason, that's to get goals. He's a little bit quiet in the first quarter, so they'll be expecting a little bit more out of him.
Look, I'm watching Matthews Herald out there. He is saying to Slug Trollop, no, I am not hurt, go away.
17-point margin to East Burwood. Squirts out towards Knight. Shot on goal up towards the goal square, marked in defence by Slater. So Luke Slater plays on and finds Nielsen. Gee, not the best option. So boundary throwing again. Just in that left forward pocket for East Ringwood. As I said, 17-point margin favouring East Burwood. They desperately need a goal here, East Ringwood. We made some outlandish predictions during quarter time, but we'll see what becomes of those. Shot on goal for East Ringwood. Not a bad effort at all. Danny Young, fantastic for East Ringwood, second of the day.
Jeez, that was good timing, wasn't it? I mean, that's his job. He's a great goal kicker. He can be really dangerous, and you know, that's your job. You've got to pop up out of nowhere, and good players who can read the play. One look over his shoulder and straight on through the goal. I mean, it's a fantastic kick.
So, Peter, another example there. We've said many times in the commentary team this year that the player that kicks it always knows first what's going to happen.
Yeah, always look at the bloke who's kicked it, because he'll tell you whether it's through or not.
And Danny Young, certainly that was his 43rd goal for the season. And that's the second on the board to East Ringwood. So up we go in the centre once again. Adam Slater tries to take it out. Got the ball across there to Ash Martin, but that was smothered. Ball still in that centre square area as umpire Mark Henry Lawson says it wasn't going anywhere, and there'll be another ball up. 4-5-29 East Burwood, 2-6-18. Smith gets the ball off. East Burwood now going into attack. Matthews Herald on the left, gets around, got dumped after, he kicked it downfield. Houlihan! Houlihan will take the kick. Outside 50. Boy, it'll be a big kick from there.
Slater's been good at the centre bounces. He's been using his bulk. He's been able to grab the ball straight out of the ruck and handball down to Ash Martin.
So Houlihan now, just outside 50, decides to go short. Was that a drop kick? I don't believe it. It certainly looked like it. It's Hooper. Hooper takes it. He goes skyward on the left there, out to the half-back flank, looking over there for Hewson. East Ringwood now working the ball down through centre wing, outer side. Yes, I think Derry Codling had to go to the contest or make a contest of it. Comes off hands, McMaster in there. Round the corner goes Douglas. What can he do with it? Back to the centre half forward position. Punched away there. Good effort by Goodale. But the ball was snagged just outside 50. East Ringwood going into attack, and this will be an East Ringwood shot on goal, courtesy of Bazaglo.
We'll be right behind this kick too, so it'll be good judges.
So Bazaglo will kick from 40, 42.
Be a fair bit of left to right, I would imagine, in this kick.
Yeah, mountain highway end. Bit of breeze going down that end. Bazaglo comes in. There's probably too far left there. Oh, is that Shears over the top and there's punched through? Boy, oh boy.
See, he has been unlucky. He's gone up twice and could have taken 2 marks in the air, and the grand final would have been great for him.
Well, getting up there is not the problem, Peter. It's coming down. Okay, as Derry Coughlin now, he will take the kick in for East Burwood. Decides to go a little one to himself. Shears goes in hard. Coughlin comes out and he'll find White. So the ex-Carlton player at the centre half-back position for East Burwood goes in short over here. Matthews Herald has it in hand. And Matthews Herald in front of our commentary position here. 8 minutes into the second quarter. Matthews Herald, ball standing up in the breeze right in front of our commentary. Hollow! Hollow has taken a good mark for East Burwood. Hands off to Coughlin. Coughlin now will go long centre half forward looking for Houlihan. Couldn't pull it down. Grayling. Terrific battle between these two, but Houlihan has kicked 3 goals. East Ringwood trying to work the ball out of that half-back area. Little chip kick across here to Bazaglo. He takes it.
Numbers.
Bazaglo now goes long down into 50 here. McMaster's taken it.
He's
Just
been good.
in front of Luke Slater.
He's been good today, McMaster. He's really presented himself. He's giving his smaller midfielders something to aim for when they're coming through. So he's working extremely hard.
So Paul McMaster now, it's a similar kick that we saw just a moment or so back.
And he's walking around and he's opened up the goal by about
Yes,
5
Steve.
metres, I reckon.
And Jason Kennedy, you missed that. Doesn't miss too many. So Paul McMaster now will kick from about 40. Our camera right behind him lets it go left to right, but that's too far left again, and that's missed everything. And umpire signals a free kick to East Burwood, which will be taken by Chad Nielsen.
So Nielsen, deep in the pocket, obviously, right on the boundary line. Kicks in and finds Gafer. So East Burwood now to switch play back to Nielsen. Oh, no. Oh, dear. So a rush behind. And so on our scoreboard, East Burwood 4-5-29, lead East Ringwood 2-8-20.
I don't think Uncle Doug was too happy with that one.
No.
I think Adam White's really got to get into this game if he's going to, he hasn't had a lot of it so far, so, he needs to get back into it.
A chance here for East Ringwood, hands off back towards McMaster. McMaster steadies, kicks up towards the goal square. Up, going to fire, Shears! Gee, I thought he had it in his lap. Doesn't mind getting up. And umpire Jason Kennedy just tells him to come back and kick over the mark. It's,
having a lot of their shots on 50, they're not really penetrating the 50-metre lines, and they're out wide a lot. East Burwood have forced them out wide, put them under a lot of pressure to kick goals.
So Gafer up towards the outer side, no mark taken. A free kick gained away of East Burwood. So it's a 9-point margin, First Division Grand Final, favouring East Burwood. Up towards the outer side. At the contest was Hollow, but the boundary line accepts the ball and will have a boundary throw-in.
Peter, the other thing I believe is interesting, 2 shots by East Ringwood from this members' side of the ground to the left-hand side. The wind just hasn't brought them back in.
No, we said left to right and it went, kept going straight.
So again, ruck contest. 2 hands on it was White. But East Ringwood up towards Porter. He couldn't bring it down. Inside 50, players dive on top of it, will have a ball up. Very important ruck contest, this one. The goal to East Ringwood will make things very, very interesting.
Well, the forward structure for East Ringwood is different because they've got 4 guys in the forward 50 and 2 out at most times, and East Burwood just had Houlihan.
Yep. Kennedy, umpire Kennedy, throws the ball up. As the contest trying to take it through with McCormick, just lingering around the pack. The ball is just they're trying to knock the ball free, but the defenders of East Burwood are just trying to lock it up at the same time. And so we'll have another ball up.
And Peter, if I could just pick up on your comment, two of East Burwood's better players in Arthurson and also Nielsen are on that half-back line.
Yeah, look, that's where they're getting all their drive.
12-minute mark of the second term. It's a 9-point lead to East Burwood out towards the outer side. Smith got his kick away, but out towards the boundary line, they saw the safety of it.
You'd really be wanting Porter, you know, to stand up a little bit in this quarter. They're the guys that have been kicking goals for them when they've needed it, and they're just being held a little bit.
So again, ruck contest, outer side. White got his hand to it as East Burwood drive forward. A big kick out of that contest. Houlihan is trying to take it out. John Dinny's at the contest as well. They dive on top of it, keep the ball moving. And Goodale, I think it was, got his hands to it out towards Matthews Herald, who managed to pick it up on the half volley and tap it off just inside 50, but into the arms of the defenders for East Ringwood. They kick up towards the centre of the ground. Good mark taken by McMaster in the centre. So now they have an opportunity as Douglas comes out of full forward, so is Porter. Porter darts around and hand pass back. Just trying to develop something out towards Fraser. Got his hands to it. Back towards Douglas. All locked up. Managed to get his hands clear. O'Malley, as East Ringwood try and centre out towards McMaster. Overstepped the mark though. Tapped in towards the hands of McMaster again. Back to Downs. They're being pushed further and further out of the attacking zone. East Ringwood deep inside the attacking zone now, and Arthurson. So out towards White for East Burwood. Still on the outer side, John Dinny. So the runners with East Burwood, the run is with East Burwood. They try out of defence, but they meet a wall towards White again. Right forward flank, Houlihan couldn't bring it down. They're all locked up, and just the passage of play that's emerging is more defensive than anything else.
Interesting, Andrew, with East Burwood going into the wind, they've got Houlihan on a half-forward flank, or it appears on a half-forward flank, and Adam Slater at full forward.
So again, ruck contest right on the 50-metre arch, and we'll have another ball up. So 14 minutes played, 9-point lead to East Burwood in this second term.
Look, that's good for Slater. I mean, he needs to rest. He needs to get his breath back, because it's going to be a long day at the office, especially in the grand final.
John Dinny got his hands out to Martin, who drives up inside 50. Fantastic effort, Martin. Great goal to East Burwood. Very tight angle from Martin. He just let it fly, and again had the confidence. Positive signs for East Burwood. 5-5-35, leading East Ringwood 2-8-20.
Good call, Andrew.
Just from the stoppages, though, East Burwood works so hard. I mean, both sides do, but East Burwood just seem to be ahead in the stoppages, I think.
Okay, well, what a crackerjack game we've got as umpire. Jason Kennedy puts us back into action once again. McMaster was in the ruck there for East Ringwood, but Luke Slater takes it a bit of a daisy cutter down there. I think he was looking for Hollow. He missed him. He looks for his brother out there. He's even wider, but as you can see, Nickel close to the boundary line, gets hands around. Is it going to go over? Goodale in underneath. He makes sure it goes over, and that'll be a throw in. Half-forward flank for East Burwood, the outer side of the ground. 15 minutes here in the second quarter. East Burwood 5-5-35. They're leading East Ringwood 2-8-20. As the ball comes back in, Adam Slater to do the ruck work. They all got pushed out. There was no particular winner in that contest. Ball does squirt out, or it dodges and misses everybody. At the back of the pack, Luke Slater, he should pick it up. He has a second bite of the cherry. Hands back here to, I think it's Adam White. Adam White starting to get into the game, goes back into the centre to Derek Coughlin. Go on his right foot, Decker. How about that one? Looking for Adam Slater down there. The big fella couldn't quite take it. Ball close to the boundary line, and over it goes for a throw-in.
Good coaching by Doug Barg. He's brought White back off half-back now. I mean, a guy who wasn't getting much of the footy, you put him straight into defensive line and give him a bit of run, and White's been fantastic this quarter.
Luke Slater off for Campbell on.
May have paid the penalty for not taking that ball first grab in that centre area there, Andrew, but East Burwood now coming back into attack right to the top of the square. Bazaglo should take it for East Ringwood, and certainly does.
Covering some ground.
Ash Martin on the mark. Bazaglo now goes high. The wing. Nielsen from behind punches it forward. Good effort there. Started off behind. Got the fist to it. Been a grand player for East Burwood over the past 4 or 5 years. Had his share of injuries, but bounces back every time.
Just see Shears just picking himself up very gingerly from that contest.
He certainly has. Okay, there's a bit of a wrestle. McMaster grabbed it, pushed Hollow out of the road, got it down to the half-forward line. Arthurson couldn't quite take it. Round the corner there goes Clark. jabber. Clark punch forward there by the East Burwood defenders, and that was Gafer, and over the boundary line for another throw in. Well, East Burwood certainly keeping the pressure on East Ringwood. Their guns are down, there's no doubt about that. East Burwood trying to push it to the front of the pack. Round the corner goes Danny Young. It hit the behind post, and of course that will be a free kick to East Burwood. Arthurson to take it. Arthurson right behind the point post down there at the Mountain Highway end. Arthurson looking for Hollow. Hollow in front of the pack, but punched away by Nickel. And over the boundary line for a throw in.
The players will be pretty happy at the moment that the sun's been behind the clouds, so it certainly makes it a lot more comfortable for them.
Certainly does. Ball comes back in right on 50. In we go. Derek Coughlin over the top, got it forced forward there by Clark. Around the corner went Knight, John Knight right to the top of the square. Arthurson drops back and says thank you very much. Then outrun his man, went round the boundary line. His slot won't get it before it goes over, and that'll be another throw in. Halfback flank outer side, 18 minutes into the second quarter. East Burwood 5-5-35, East Ringwood 2-8-20.
So boundary throwing on the outer side. Said before, a very important ruck contest, but this one possibly a bit more because it's a 15-point margin favouring East Burwood. This occasion, Knight, hand pass back to Lee. Lee goes inside 50. No mark to East Ringwood, and geez, straight through the contest, and a free kick paid to Arthurson. Nothing really in it, just rewarding the player who puts his body on the line, I think, on that occasion. Arthurson, now a little chip kick, finds Coughlin. At centre half back, inside, going straight down the guts, we like to say colloquially, I'll get it out eventually, Bobby.
One my teeth, Andrew.
Up towards Bayswater, who couldn't take the mark.
Josh Davies.
Yeah, Davies and East Burwood have numbers at the ball. Out towards Matthews Herald, left forward flank, centering kick up towards full forward. Slater the target. Slater, great mark. Plays on to John Denny. No, umpire has called him back.
Slater.
And, well, Slater thought he'd get away and try and have a shot on goal. But the umpire's called him back, going to a free kick to John Tinney for over the shoulder.
Good Peter Maloney, terrific quarter by, I think, Adam White, and also the evergreen in Derek Coughlin.
Look, they've been good. They've really controlled the footy. Like, they haven't blazed away. That's been the difference. East Ringwood have probably had their fair share of the footy. They've just tended to blaze a little bit more. East Ringwood, a bit more composure, been able to hit their targets, and they're paying. East Ringwood, unfortunately, are paying the price.
John Denny goes short and finds Coughlin. So,
well, that was always on because he was in the hole.
Yeah, he probably didn't gain a lot of space, gain a lot of territory though. I mean, just nevertheless, so Coughlin will take a shot on goal. Slight angle from just inside 50. It's 5-5-35, plays East Ringwood 2 goals, 8-20. 20-minute mark of the second term. Coughlin's kick, drop punt, left foot kick is offline. Up go the Flyers and punch through for one behind. So on our scoreboard, it's 5-6-36, East Burwood leading East Ringwood 2 goals, 8-20.
Well, that never looked like anything other than what it finished up at.
True, as they kick in and find Bazaglo, that's East Ringwood. So a lot of players calling for East Ringwood, but Bazaglo just takes his time. Up towards centre wing, grandstand side, up goes Douglas, couldn't bring it down. And we'll have a boundary throw in.
20 minutes into the quarter, Andrew. We're into quarter time so far in the quarter. East Burwood 2-2, East Ringwood 1-2. So only a goal in the quarter.
So again, boundary throw in. Just tapped away. Out of the contest comes Young. Young just inside 50 now, looking for the option nickel. But G. Arthurson is sensational. Out towards Campbell, who does clearing work for East Burwood and finds John Denny on the outer wing. Plays on. Inside 50, looking for Coughlin. Coughlin just slipped over. Fraser now. Hand pass off to, I think it was Cameron Taylor. But back with Crowley now for East Ringwood. Centre half forward, but good mark in defence. So Smith now for East Burwood. So it's 36 plays 20. East Burwood with the 16-point margin.
Oh, Hollow.
Yeah, great mark, Hollow.
Gee.
Through the centre square. Now East Burwood through a series of little chip kicks. So the tip to go forward. White now in the centre of the ground. Well, tried to find Goodale. Falls back towards Matthews Herald, who does very well just lingering around the flank. Up towards Houlihan territory, but good marking defence by Bazaglo. Almost playing the loose man back there. Running the wing as well. So Bazaglo for East Ringwood. Concedes a little bit of ground and goes backwards. finds Lee.
This is what they need to do. They need to try and switch play, create loose men. They're just not getting enough free run, and they need to start switching the ball around a bit.
Up towards grandstand side, centre wing. Martin gets his hands on it and hand pass back towards Coughlin. Coughlin now. Bazaglo does very well and punches close to the boundary line and out of bounds on the full. Might have just shaved somebody's foot on the way. So East Burwood free kick. No, East Ringwood free kick. Bazaglo will take it. Bit of confusion as our view is obscured by the umpire's box. Now directly in front of our commentary position. And boundary line is sought, but it's just kept in by Hewson. Hewson back out towards Porter, who drives us into attack. Fraser just took his eyes off the ball and diverted his attention to his opponent, which probably isn't that pleasing from a coach's point of view.
Good thing with Hollow, with East Bird, he's really come into this game and he's been a really dangerous player for them, and he's playing way up the ground and he's their first target. As soon as they come out of defence, they're looking for Hollow and he's getting it nearly every time. So
boundary throw-in just inside 50 for East Ringwood. Out of the contest, Fenton shot on goal was off the line and through for one behind. East Ringwood move on to 2-9-21. East Burwood 5-6-36.
Okay, we've played 23 minutes into the second quarter. Derek Coughlin, the designated kicker for East Burwood, to take the ball. He's decided to come across here towards the commentary side of the ground. It's a 2-on-2 contest. Brad Campbell takes it, went one way, then back the other. Round the corner he goes. He eventually got his kick. But boy, oh boy, Smith backs up. Good effort there, Smith. Went one way, then had to go the other. Couldn't quite get through traffic. Eventually does. Right up there to the front end of the centre square area. Hollow couldn't quite take it. McMaster backs up. McMaster goes long out here to Bazaglo. Bazaglo had it. Boy, he got to get rid of it quickly because Matthews Herald was on his tail. Oh, that was a pretty good effort there by Douglas. Terrific effort there by Douglas. He now shoots the ball across to the centre half forward position. Derek Coughlin couldn't bring it down. Whoa! Thank you very much, Brad Smith. Fair bump. And I think is that Froggy Fenton?
I think he'd be all right.
Yes, it is. It's Froggy Fenton. Boy, he didn't know whether he got hit by the Sydney Express or well it was.
Doesn't know whether he's Arthur or Martha.
I think when he realises he can have a shot on goal, he'll probably be all right.
Oh, he's a tough customer, Froggy. He'll bounce back. There's no doubt about that. No, he's decided to take himself off. And Stephen Downs will take the kick. Fenton not well. As Downs to take the kick now for East Ringwood. He'll kick from about 45. Mountain Highway end. Stand and deliver type of a kick. Is heading left. It won't bend back. That is just the one behind. And that's the third time for the quarter, Peter Maloney. We've seen the ball go left, but then not come back with the breeze.
Look, Greg Freeman will be a little bit disappointed, I think, because wasted opportunity, and to East Burwood's credit, they've just defended really well.
So Coughlin went to Hislop. Hislop now on half-back. Decides to chip it across to Arthurson. Gee, Arthurson did take it. He gets it to Ash Martin. Ash Martin in trouble. He's got plenty of traffic around him. Dodges and weaves. Finally gets his kick. Ball standing up in the breeze. Who's in under? John Denny. No, punched away there by Crowley. It's all locked up there. Umpire looking closely. Puts the whistle in the mouth, and that will be a ball up just inside that centre square area. 25 minutes or 25 and a half minutes gone in the second quarter. East Burwood 36, East Ringwood 22. 14 points in the ball game. It's still in that centre square area. Jabba Clark got hands off there to Knight. Knight goes long to the top of the square. Punched away from Young. Ball to the ground. Arthurson first on it. Arthurson picks it up. Goes wide over there to Ash Martin. Ash Martin now goes wider again. Round the ground there looking for Goodale. And he marks it just inside the boundary line over there. Midway between the wing and the half-back flank for East Burwood. Goodale now, a little bit of a chip kick over there to Derek Coughlin. And the captain of the East Burwood side chips it up there to half forward, close to the boundary line. East Burwood keep it in possession. I think it's Houlihan's got it. And Houlihan now, wing, outer side, pushes it back in. Won't go. It does, it gets into 50. As the siren sound, and that is half-time here at the Bayswater Oval. And at half-time, East Burwood 5-6-36, leading East Ringwood 2-10-22. 14 points in the ball game. Welcome back. Just about to start the third quarter here at the Bayswater Oval. in Bayswater. It's a Division 1 Grand Final for season 2002. And at half-time, East Burwood with a 14-point lead. East Burwood 5-6-36, leading East Ringwood 2-10-22. And Andrew Conway, we are in for one blinder of the third quarter.
Well, we expected to see a different outcome in the end of the second term, but wasn't to be. So looking at this quarter very, very closely for the East Ringwood point of view.
Well, umpire Mark Henry Lawson holds up the Collect Sharon and bangs it into the deck, and we're away again for the third quarter. Slater over the top, got it down, but Danny Young goes into 54, East Ringwood. Shears leading in the race over there in front of not Arthurson. It was, in fact, Nielsen. Wide over there, spinning out of the pack with it was Crawley. Hasn't done a lot in the game so far. McCormick couldn't quite take it. Dropped the ball at the crucial moment. It's inside 50, but umpire Kennedy said it wasn't going to go anywhere, and there will be a ball up. Just inside 50, in front of the scoreboard over there. Up we go again. Ball to the front of the pack. Trying to spin out of it there was Houston, Chris. Coughlin tried to wrap up Knight. East Burwood now coming into attack. They'll go down to their 50. Houlihan caught behind. Couldn't quite bring it down. John Denny went in hard, but he missed the run of it. Hooper got it forward, but only as far as Matthews Herald. And Matthews Herald for East Burwood will send them down towards the 50. Or a bit of an underground pass there to John Denny. Does pick it up. Goes bang to the top of the square looking for Houlihan. Houlihan behind. Oh, off hands Houlihan. And over the boundary line it went, and there will be a throw in.
Yeah, they've started with White in the goal square. Houlihan's playing up and just obviously dropping in with the flight of the footy. But White and Houlihan, pretty dangerous combination.
It certainly is. Okay, ball to come back in now, deep into East Burwood's 50. White was in the front of the pack. It was Nickel from behind. Probably Nickel got the ball down. East Burwood now. Around the corner goes Young. Dipper has a bit of a pot shot from 40. It's going to go wide, but Luke Slater has marked it. Luke Slater hard up against the boundary line. He's going to look for an option over there. Who's he going to go for? It's not going to come off because Coughlin couldn't take it for East Burwood. Houlihan's got it. Handballs it forward to Derek Coughlin. Round the corner, Derek Coughlin's kicked it. That's a goal. That starts the third quarter. A great start for East Burwood.
That was a great shepherd by Hollow. He knew that Coughlin needed a path to get through to the goal square. Hollow was a fantastic shepherd.
And Derek Coughlin on his right foot there too, Peter. He doesn't play a lot on his right side, but he's probably played more today on that side than I've seen him in a long while.
Well, you can kick right foot when you're that close to goal, can't you?
You're
not going to make too many mistakes on that far out.
It might not look pretty, but when that umpire started waving the flags, it did.
Well, the crowd are enjoying a fantastic standard of football for the Division 1 Grand Final in this third term. Played 2.5 minutes on the scoreboard. It's East Burwood 6-6-42, leading East Ringwood 2-10-22. Back at centre half forward for East Burwood. Races on for it. The clearers are trying to do the work. That's Lee for East Ringwood on this occasion. In front of the East Burwood coach's box, Martin got his hands clear. Still in play, out towards Hislop, who puts it under his boot and up towards full forward. Up go the Flyers, nobody brings it down, still inside 50. The clearers come in for East Ringwood again. And Dippy Domenico tries to dive on top of it. Slater with his hands on it now, hand pass back. Clearing by Hooper. Back to Matthews Herald inside 50. Great mark to Slater! Lucas Slater, great use of the body. And we'll go back from 35 metres out to take a shot on goal for the 7th goal of the day. We're at a 20-point margin at this stage of the game, this to make it 26.
It's good coaching because they're really trying to stretch East Ringwood's defence now with obviously White and Houlihan. You've got Chris Hollow coming in off a wing. He's a taller now. Slater. They're really going to stretch East Ringwood.
From about 35, great judge kick. Wait on the goal umpire. I think he's pushed it too far. Oh dear. Almost hooked it back, but unfortunately for Slater, just offline. So 3-1 behind, 6-7-43 to East Ringwood 2-10-22. As Lee will come in to do the kick in again as the sun just pops out from behind the clouds. We had a bit of a reprieve during half-time, but nevertheless, the players having to contend with that as well. So again, with East Ringwood. Lee goes up towards the outer side. She is just lingering in the back of the pack for East Ringwood with his head bandaged. At centre half forward for East Burwood. Dinny at the contest, back towards Martin, got his kick clear. Ashley Martin, great goal, East Burwood. They're on fire, East Burwood, 7 goals, 7-49. Leading East Ringwood 2-10-22 in this First Division Grand Final. gee whiz. Bit of soul searching for East Ringwood. I mean, it's although it's a 27-point margin.
And Peter Maloney, not only have they got the 4 talls down there, but you got little Ash Martin that just chips in and picks it up off the pack and goes, thank you very much.
The good thing is they're keeping it alive. Just keep knocking the ball forward. You're always going to be a chance to score goals. As soon as you dive on it, it's a stoppage.
Back in the centre, Jason Kennedy got us underway. Slater tapped to the back of the pack. Green comes through for East Burwood, goes to the 50. Whoa, Dippy Edamenico's offloaded.
He's been great today, Dippy Edamenico. His work at ground level, he's been front and square. He's been really good.
So Henry Lawson puts us back into play once again. Slater out across to Martin again. Martin goes into 50 to Houlihan over his head. Couldn't quite bring it down. Houlihan coming out there. Hooper got hands off, but only as far as Matthews. Harold back to Martin. Martin now inside 50. No, he's far too far left. That's right to the top of the square, but he's going to bounce and bounce over. And that will be a throw in deep in that East Burwood forward line. 5.5 minutes into this third quarter. East Burwood just absolutely pounding the forward line, bombing it in. They've got the bigs there, they've got the smalls, and as Peter Maloney said, our comments man today, they've got plenty of options up there. Gee, she has tried to pull it out then, not successful. Plenty of activity in there, players locked up. Adam White, and it will be a ball up inside the East Burwood 50. No real advantage there. Ash Martin couldn't quite get control of Bazaglo, got a footwork, forced it forward. Mick Master leading in the race for East Ringwood. Boy, oh boy, he's too big to do that too. That ball comes out here to Nickel. East Ringwood going forward there. Oh, I think that's Douglas in front, and he has taken the mark. So Adam Douglas now wide over there on that half forward flank for East Ringwood, drives into 50, but Arthurson whacks it forward down to McMaster. He chipped into the hole, picked it up, has a pot shot from just outside 50. It was a stray. It's a 1-on-2 situation. I don't think East Ringwood could win those. East Burwood now coming in, but East Ringwood do. Whoa! Player held up there. That was Porter.
And they'd be disappointed with that, East Burwood. They outnumbered East Ringwood, had the footy in their hands and just turned it over. Now he's shot on goal for East Ringwood.
Lost possession, and the picture told the story. So Porter, yet to kick a goal, Wade Porter. And 7 minutes into this third quarter, well within scoring distance for Porter. He'll kick from just on 50, scoreboard end. And to say that East Ringwood need a goal would be the understatement. Porter lets go, but that will miss everything. He won't be happy with that, and I would dare say that Greg Fremantle would be likewise thinking at this moment. So East Burwood to bring the ball back in from the scoreboard end. Coming up to the 8-minute mark of the quarter. Gee, Danny Young standing pretty close to the player on the mark, nevertheless got his foot to the ball hollow. Couldn't quite take it. Good alien under. Gets it out to Martin right on the boundary line. Martin gets his kick. Whoa, got to go from the back, which was Davies. Couldn't quite pull it in, but umpire Kennedy says there's an infringement, and we'll go to East Ringwood. Looks like it might be
Taylor for getting one too high.
Taylor.
I think,
So Taylor wearing the number 9 jumper now, is it?
Yes, he's gone back to what it was at the start of the game.
As Lee kicks it forward for East Ringwood. We'll make that change on our board in a moment, Andrew, I'm sorry. East Burwood now coming forward through the wing here on the member side of the ground. Houlihan backs back in, couldn't quite take the ball. Dippy Edamenico goes through, umpire's head advantage. Luke Slater has a pot shot, but he's missed. And that is just the one behind.
Ash Martin's really come into it this quarter. He's got a lot of the footy. He's already kicked a goal. Being very dangerous. He tends to sit off the pack a little bit. He uses a lot of experience. The boys know he's going to be standing there waiting, and obviously use him as much as they can.
So out to a 28-point lead as Lee brings us back into play. Very dangerous though, only as far as Davies' shot on goal is off the line and through for one behind. So 7 goals 9, plays 2 goals 10.
East Burwood 2-3 for the quarter there, Andrew. East Ringwood haven't changed their score from half-time, and we're at the 9-minute mark.
So a big margin to contend with as the ball comes back in, grandstand side, and a free kick going East Burwood's way to be taken by O'Malley. just directly in front of our commentary position. Centering kick up towards full forward. Houlihan! Not paid. Falls down towards the defenders for East Ringwood. They have to mop up. They do so up towards the grandstand side, looking for Grayling. A good mark taken. So Grayling now with the option against Lucas Slater.
They're just holding their run, East Burwood. They're doing a great job.
Up towards centre wing. And a good mark taken by Douglas. I don't think he knew he had it in the middle of that pack. But nonetheless, he takes his kick up towards the left forward flank. Up go the Flyers. Nobody takes the mark. Falls down towards the Crummers, and coming through the pack is Davies. Up towards Goodale, who takes a good mark holding his ground. Dippy and Domenico drives up towards Houlihan territory. Houlihan at the back of the contest. Couldn't bring it down. Back to Taylor, who does very well for East Ringwood. Kicks to space, although not enough space. They've got numbers at the ball. Shears and McCormick, I think, or Knight it was. Back now to McCormick at centre wing. In towards Bazaglo, who, the kick wasn't judged as well as it possibly could have been. Hislop now. Long kick in towards full forward. And a great mark taken by Martin. So Ashley Martin will take a shot directly in front, or almost, just as the breeze picks up. In fact, whenever East Burwood have been kicking to this end, it's been first and third quarters, obviously. The breeze has been with them. It died down in the second term, and East Ringwood had to do it alone. And the breeze picks up behind Ashley Martin. We'll see what it does to this kick. Straight through the middle, Ashley Martin. His third for the day. And East Burwood move out to 8 goals, 9.57, leading East Ringwood 2-10-22.
Well, East Burwood, Peter Maloney, 3-3 for the quarter. They're certainly holding East Ringwood across that half-back line. They're attacking off there, and they're doing the job at the other end of the ground.
They're just outnumbering them, and the good thing is what they're doing is they've got a lot of good rotations. They're midfield, they always rest. They go down for Goodale, Martin. They're as dangerous as anything down the forward line as well.
Umpire Mark Lawson puts us back into action once again. Nobody got the ruck contest, but Josh Davies picked it up, booted it back. Luke Slater! Umpire called play on. East Burwood into 50. Dippy Domenico with some heavy work off the ball there. East Ringwood now coming out. Taylor it was. No mark. Umpire calling play on again. Boy, it's tough in there. Ash Martin couldn't quite get to the full of it. Good second effort there by Martin. Got it across to Hislop. Hislop weaving and ducking and weaving around. He goes back to Martin. Martin gets it across to Adam Slater. Adam Slater, look out, boys. He'll feed it off, will he? No, he won't. He's going to go for the kick. He's going to go long, looking for Houlihan. Houlihan, 1 out, 2 out. 1 on 2, and Houlihan can't win those. Grayling got it wide over there. He looked for Crowley. Crowley now, there he goes. One bounce. He'd probably get another one in, but Adam White's on the scene. Crowley goes long down there, and Douglas has taken it. Douglas now shoots into 50, looking for McMaster, and he has taken a mark just inside of Chad Nielsen, right in front of the scoreboard over there. Half forward line, McMaster goes short. Bazaglo didn't bring it to ground. Umpire looking closely, now blows the whistle, and that will be a ball up.
But the problem they've had is East Ringwood is that they've had to go wide. Every time they've gone into the forward 50, they've taken it out wide.
Okay, nobody got the ruck contest there. McMaster gets hands off. Whoa. Boy, oh boys, he's tough in there. Ball squirts out wide, and Luke Slater has it, but I think there's a whistle on play, and that will have to be returned. Derek Coughlin just kicks it back in the direction. Oh, I think it was at Artisan down there. He decides to go wide over here to Nielsen. Nielsen now, centre wing, right in front of our commentary position. Douglas, he gets hands across there to Porter. Porter, bit of an awkward looking bounce. He's going back to Douglas. Douglas round the corner, tackle there by Martin. Was a bit of an awkward looking kick, but that is an East Ringwood mark, and I think it is Clark Jabber. Jabber Clark, 200 games today, and he has taken the mark for East Ringwood. 45-degree angle, will kick from 30 metres. Scoreboard into the ground.
When you need your veterans to stand up.
So Jabber Clark, and he comes, lets one rep. Oh, that's drifting across to the right-hand side. Umpire looking closely and said no, and in fact hit the post. So that's the first score to East Ringwood for the quarter at the 14-minute mark, just the one behind. East Burwood have kicked 3 goals, 3, and East Burwood lead 8-9-57 to East Ringwood 2-11-23.
Coughlin plays on and looks to go straight up the centre of the ground. John Dinny's underneath the 4 of the ball. Couldn't take the mark, tapped out of his direction. as Crowley is taken high and will receive a free kick. Advantage is paid the way of Fraser. Towards the left forward flank, Nielsen and McMaster. And unfortunately, you've got to actually get rid of the ball, not just drop it. Free kick to be taken by Nielsen. Alex to come up towards Matthews Herald, who just a little bit beyond his reach. Intercepted by Bazaglo. Crowley, Bazaglo. Series of handballs. It was Knight who got clear. And Hewson will receive a free kick.
Thank your mother for the chickens.
So the vice-captain comes in up towards, inside 50, up go the Flyers, back towards the hands of Nielsen, hand pass back towards Davies, as East Burwood try and break clear, but it's all locked up. We'll have a ball up just inside 50. 57 plays 23, East Burwood with the upper hand. 15 and a half minutes gone. Jabba Clark got a fist to it, but Fenton back in the action, and we'll have another ball up. So the sun's still out, the crowd's still enjoying the game, particularly if you're an East Burwood supporter. Now towards centre wing, grandstand side. Slater off the ball, managed to try and get rid of his opponent, but almost thought there'd be a free kick going the way of Hewson.
Michael Hewson sort of evened up, I think, then.
So boundary thrown in front of the East Burwood coaches box. As we see the crowd well and truly enthralled. I think the East Burwood faithful behind the East Burwood coaches box, very happy with the performance of their charges as the Rams keep just plodding away. Back towards Knight. Now Coughlin slaps it onto his boot up towards Houlihan. Houlihan met by Grayling. Out towards Martin, open goal, no problem at all.
That's his fourth, Andrew.
And East Burwood's ninth. They move on to 9 goals, 63 to East Ringwood, 2-11-23 in the Division 1 Grand Final. 16 and a half minutes played.
He just drifted down from the throw-in. He's very smart. He drifts down forward. While everyone's looking at the ball, watching the boundary umpire, he'll drift down, got into some space. Before you know it, he's got the ball and kicking on goal.
And as I just mentioned, that's his fourth for the game. And East Burwood 4-3 for the quarter. East Ringwood just the one behind. As Henry Lawson gets us underway once again. Over the top there when Nickel tried to force the ball forward. Knight has it. He decided to, well, he was going to go around the corner, then came back and kicked it actually straight right down to the top of the square. But, Chad Nielsen, a magnificent mark. And that'll be 25, umpire Lawson. He's given it.
Look, East Ringwood are probably the best finishing side in the competition. So they really need to claw away at this East Burwood lead to give themselves any chance to finish. They'll be confident they'll probably still be able to win this game at three-quarter time if it's reachable. But they have to kick another, couple of goals at least to give themselves any real chance. But at the moment, you wouldn't think you couldn't find 2 goals at the moment.
Okay, Brad Smith to take the free kick. Nielsen is on his feet. Smith goes down long to, he's looking for Luke Slater, and Luke Slater juggles it about 3 or 4 times and in fact did take the mark. It was just the case he was too big, too tall. He goes into 50 now. Look at the Houlihan. Couldn't quite get to it. East Ringwood to mop up. Grayling. Bang he goes, long down that outer wing side, and punch from the back there was Nickel. Tried to get it towards the boundary line, not successful, as we saw, boy, O'Malley, did he go in hard. Ball out of bounds, out of side. We've played 18 minutes into this third quarter. East Burwood 9-9-63, East Ringwood 2-11-23. 40 points the difference in the ball game. It's all locked up out there. Hollow has it. Got the pot shot kick in the final analysis there. Luke Slater going for it, but it's over the boundary line again for a throw in. Half forward line for East Burwood, outer side of the ground.
Just a interchange before it was Downs came on for John Knight off.
18 and a half minutes gone in the third quarter. Ball back into play once again. East Burwood with a pot shot. Houlihan to the front of the pack. Waiter didn't come his way. Ash Martin couldn't take it from behind, but he did take it over the boundary line, and that will be another throw in. So deep in the East Burwood forward line there. Absolutely pumped East Ringwood in this third quarter. East Ringwood with just the 1 point for the quarter. Hollow over the top. Tried to take it out. Couldn't quite bring it to ground. Players coming in from everywhere. Dippy Domenico flew in. Ash Martin tries hard, but East Ringwood will clear it out of there. And as you can see, Adam White has taken it just inside the boundary line.
It's Coughlin.
Oh, Coughlin, it is too. So Derek Coughlin on his trusty left foot. He'll go right to the top of the square. Houlihan behind the pack, didn't come out to him. Dippy Domenico tried hard. Good second effort, Dippy Domenico. Boy, did he go in hard. He's all locked up. And umpire Kennedy will come in and bounce it. 35 metres out from East Burwood goal, Mountain Highway end.
So, sorry.
No, I was going to say Dippy Domenico. He's just been fantastic for East Burwood today.
Kanga Kennedy puts the ball back down as East Burwood shoot out a ball out of the pack, but East Ringwood have the runners out of defence and they get away. Out through McCormick. Couple of bounces, McCormick. 3, 4. McCormick through the centre of the ground, does very well inside 50 now. There's nobody home for East Ringwood. Now they manage to mop up. Out through Porter, steps around the body. Porter's in towards goal, was offline and through for one behind.
It's disappointing for East Ringwood because it's not just the disappointment from the player having the shot on goal, it's those defensive line guys who are disappointing. They're working extremely hard, East Ringwood, in defence because they're under so much pressure. They want to see some goals ticking over. They want to see the ball rebound. And watch the kick in. They'll be looking to kick it down through centre half forward.
9-9-63 plays 2-12-24. Now Davies towards centre half forward, just inside the square. Fly! Fantastic fly. Wow. Hewson.
Michael.
That would have been an absolute, well, that would have been on the Almost Footy Legends, I reckon.
Gee, big fly, wasn't it?
Fantastic effort, but I think the crowd are just still, they had to look around for the screen to try and have a look at the replay.
I think they're wondering, did he come down, Andrew?
Lucas Slater all locked up.
Just watch Chad Nielsen. Nielsen's gone from defensive line. He's just drifted down into the forward line. No one's picked him up.
Into the hole, yeah.
They're very, very smart.
Good call, Peter. Good call.
Yeah, they just spotted in there and put Cam Taylor has just gone across to match him up. Out towards Chris Hewson. Up towards centre half forward. No mark taken again. Douglas and Jabba Clark. They dive on top of it, but the defenders of East Burwood managed to lock it up. We'll have a ball up centre half forward for East Ringwood.
Just goes to show you how desperate East Burwood are with Arthurson on that occasion, Peter. Just hands and knees and threw himself on it, didn't he?
Yeah, desperation stakes back there. She's
got a fist to it out towards Bazaglo territory. Close to the boundary line and over. So boundary throw in. 9-9-63 East Burwood plays. East Ringwood 2-12-24. 21, almost 22 minutes played in this third term. So still with the boundary umpire. Despite the margin, the crowd's still enjoying the game, which is good to see. As we know, and as Peter referred to before, they are good finishers, East Ringwood. Bazaglo, centering kick to space. There's nobody out there, though. The race is on forward. Good foot race between Young and Arthurson, I think it is, on the outer side. They've been running out through centre half forward. That's Young. Managed to get his foot to it and find safety at the boundary line.
Peter Maloney, what goes through a coach's mind at this situation? Would Greg Fremantle be thinking, stick to the plan, or at three-quarter time, you just throw caution to the wind and go whatever?
Well, look, as I said before, look, they're the best finishers in the competition, so they have to go back. They'll have enough confidence that they can finish games. They did it against Vermont. They've done it all the time during the year. So, look, they've got to give themselves a realistic chance to kick 7 or 8 goals because they know they'll be able to do it.
So Cam Taylor finds McCormick on the outer side, a little chip kick. McCormick picking the ball up.
Stick with what's been working in the past, I think, Bob.
Okay, fair comment there. We'll be interested to see what he does.
McCormick centering kick. Arthurson almost got his opponent out of the contest. Got his hands clear to Houlihan. But East Ringwood have numbers there. Now out towards Jabba Clark through centre half forward. Jabba puts it onto his boot up towards the right forward pocket. Douglas at the back of the pack. Couldn't take the mark. And just East Burwood coming out of defence. Smothered off the boot. Grayling. Back to Jabba Clark. Hand pass back out to Downs. Still in that right forward pocket. Trying to develop something now out of defence. Smith for East Burwood, and we'll have a boundary thrown in front of the scoreboard. 63 plays 24. East Burwood with the upper hand.
I'm just watching Jet Nielsen down on all fours again. That's twice in about 3 minutes.
So still with boundary umpire. Shears against Matthews Herald went up in the ruck.
He's played a good game, Matthews Herald. He's been hurt a couple of times. He's stayed on the ground, but he's given him a lot of bite.
He's just lingering around those packs and managed to find some free space and get free of his opponent. So doing a pretty good job. But little kick. Oh, it's out of bounds on the full. So East Burwood free kick.
You just notice that where the stoppages are. There's a lot of blue jumpers on East Ringwood jumpers on the outside of the pack. The dark blue, they're all on the inside.
Lucas Slater on the outer side takes on 3 opponents. Now East Ringwood with the numbers picked up by Downs. Slaps it onto his boot up towards Jabba Clark, and a good, almost a mark taken by Jabba. Not paid by the umpire. Hand pass off towards Fenton. Slaps it up towards the right forward pocket. Bounces. It's a bouncing ball, but Nielsen comes through for East Burwood. Hand pass off to Hislop. Hislop now towards our commentary position at centre wing. Grandstand side. The race is on for at the boundary line. Will beat all players. And we'll have a boundary thrown in front of the East Burwood coach's box. 9:63 East Burwood. East Ringwood 2:12:24.
25 minutes into this third quarter, Andrew, as the umpire is about to put us back into play. Right in front of our commentary position here. Neither ruckman got it. Slater tried to put the long arms in and hook it out of the pack. Not successful. And umpire Kennedy will come in and ball us up once again.
Davies been pretty effective for East Burwood this quarter.
Yes, good quarter by Josh. Yeah, huge punch out there by Nickel. Got the ball forward. He went out looking for Bazago. Couldn't take it, but in underneath is McCormick. He does go forward. No mark. Gave a puncher from the back of the pack. Downs goes... Douglas goes round the corner, pushes the ball wide. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Look at this. Matthews Herald goes forward. Ball outside 50. Plenty of plays there. Gafer comes with a kick off the ground.
Oh, 25.
Umpire Lawson has found a 25.
If they can sneak just one or two goals before three-quarter time, they're not going to be that far away, East Ringwood. And, geez, they've been the best side all year. You can never count them out.
Okay, well, an East Ringwood kick from outside 50 by the look of it. I can't see the play with the ball. There he is. That's Douglas by the look of him. Yes,
Yep.
it is. So Douglas to take the kick. Looks like he'll kick from about 40, 45-degree angle.
Another 25.
Another 25.
Well, obviously one of the East Burwood players might have mentioned to Mark Lawson what a nice, fine, sunny afternoon it is. So this should be a gimme goal for East Ringwood, you would think.
He's going to kick it all the way back to the East Ringwood reserve.
Possibly will too. Bang, there he goes. Douglas has kicked the goal. That's East Ringwood's third goal on the board. 1-2 for the quarter, East Ringwood. East Burwood have kicked 4 goals, 3.
Right on three-quarter time too, Bob.
Three-quarter time, so the score at three-quarter time will be East Burwood 9 goals, 9, 63, leading East Ringwood 3-12.
28.
28. Couldn't add up, Andrew. Welcome back. Just about to start the last quarter here at the Bayswater Oval. This is the Division 1 Grand Final for season 2002. At three-quarter time, East Burwood 9-9-63, leading East Ringwood 3-12-30. Did we see the premiership quarter from East Burwood in that third quarter? They kicked 4 goals, 3. They kept East Ringwood down to 1 goal, 2. Or can East Ringwood come home with their customary force towards that in that last quarter? Andrew Conway, take up the commentary and lead us into this last quarter.
Thanks very much, Bob. The last quarter of season 2002 in all divisions of the Eastern Football League. It's Division 1 Grand Final from the Bayswater Oval. East Burwood 9-9-63, leading East Ringwood 3-12-30. As umpire Mark Lawson throws the cherry down again and bounces it straight back up again. Calgon gets his kick out of the ruck contest, up towards Davies though, at centre half forward for East Burwood. Out towards Lee though, who kicks clear. Slater picks it up on off the turf. Back towards Martin, who slams it onto his boot up towards the full forward region. A good mark taken in defence by Grayling. So Grayling plays on, comes up towards Bazaglo on the grandstand side. Had Slater glaring down at him. Now Lee for East Ringwood kicks into the centre of the ground. Porter over his fingertips. Out towards Arthurson now. Back to Slater. Slater left forward flank. Will waste no time going back. And centering kick, made a mess of it. Now Bazaglo again, met hard by Slater. Slater hard at the footy. East Burwood have 4 or 5 players around the ball. Out towards John Denny. Hand pass back to Arthurson. Good pressure by East Ringwood to keep them pushing back. Arthurson got his hands to it. Gee, East Burwood had numbers at the ball, but couldn't break clear for a while. Up towards the forward region for East Burwood. Houlihan at the ball again. Houlihan gets around his opponent and met very physically. But up towards Bazaglo again. So play concentrating around that between the wing and that pocket. Early in this term, played 1.5 minutes. Up go the Flyers. Nobody brings it down. Arthurson again. I think somebody might have said something during the huddle to say you've got to get on Arthurson and match up because he's been met pretty physically in this early in this final term.
They've committed to the ball pretty well, East Ringwood, in the start of this quarter. So Greg Fremantle, we're pretty happy with that.
Again, another ruck contest. Just shy of all. Ruckman Now inside 50 for East Ringwood. No mark taken. It's on the half volley. Out towards Young. Open goal for Young. First goal of the quarter to East Ringwood.
Here they come.
So, as was tipped by our special comments man, the coach of the Croydon Footy Club, Peter Maloney, East Ringwood open the final term in the fashion they really wanted to and move on to kick their 4th goal of the day. But East Burwood 9-9-63, lead East Ringwood 4-12-36.
Okay, 2 minutes into this last quarter. Gee, will that spark a barnstorming finish from the Roos? Only time will tell. Ball on its way back into the centre. Umpire Jason Kennedy just waiting for that to arrive. Crowd here, not one person has left this ground, and I'm sure they won't be leaving for a while yet. That could just be the spark that East Ringwood require. Umpire Kennedy about to bounce that ball once again. Up we go again. Slater over the top, got it forward, but East Ringwood now come into attack. An awkward looking punt kick. Arthurson held by the arm. Umpire called play on. Here we go again, but oh no, too many guns there for young Dipper. He just kept feeding the ball along in front of him and saw it over the boundary line, deep into that East Ringwood forward line.
I actually thought, sorry Bob, Danny Young was a bit stiff enough to get a free kick then. I thought he was pretty well being held off the, just off the ball.
Okay, ball comes back in, deep in that East Ringwood forward line. Porter tries to take it out of the ruck contest. A bit of a shot round the corner by Crowley. That is another goal. East Ringwood are on fire here in the last quarter.
Here they come.
East Ringwood, boy, oh boy. Crowley's second goal. That's the second goal for East Ringwood for the quarter.
Momentum's, it's an amazing thing, isn't it? You get on top and you do all these things that you haven't been able to do for the last 3 quarters. You know, if you all knew how and why, we'd all be coaching AFL, I suppose.
Well, we certainly would be.
You know, this is a great start to the quarter. It's exactly what they need, and I'm sure the supporters will be loving that.
Okay, so umpire Kennedy again gets us underway. Back in the centre, and McMaster goes forward with a big punch down there. Hislop races forward for East Burwood. He'll turn around on that left foot. Bit of an up and under kick. Coming over here looking for Matthews Herald, but Bazaglo got in front and he took the mark.
They're getting the ball out of the middle too.
So Bazaglo now. Good comment there, Peter. That's exactly right. Bazaglo goes long to half forward, just inside 50, off hands. Shears couldn't bring the ball to the ground. Good second effort by Shears. Just couldn't manage to put his get the fingers on it. It comes out now. Shears in and under again. Oh, look at this guy go. He's fantastic. And out we come is McCormick. McCormick goes left, bang. No, didn't bring it to ground. Umpire Lawson said play on.
He spotted up Porter, I think it was. He was coming, he was on the right side for a left footballer and left foot kick, and he should have had a shot on goal.
He certainly should have, and Porter it was. Okay, ball down deep there. Shears tried to punch it forward. Ash Martin in under there for East Burwood. Gee, it's tight in the contest there. Umpire Lawson looking close again. It's 30 metres out from the East Ringwood goal. We're at the Mountain Highway end at the 5-minute mark of the last quarter.
So fast and furious in this final term. Out of the pack. Just well and truly offline, out of bounds on the full. So very, very intense early in this final term, as you'd expect. Grand final and premiership victories do not come easily.
9-9-63 East Burwood, 5-12-42.
So back inside 50. Fraser the intended target. Went to pick it up, but keeps the ball moving, did pretty well. Goodale looking for the boundary line as Nickel dives on top of it for East Ringwood, and we'll have a boundary throw. At this point in time, it might be worthwhile for us to send a cheerio to Chris and Di Anwell on the other side of the world. They'll be their East Ringwood supporters will be receiving a copy of this tape. So I hope you're enjoying the coverage, and if you're East Ringwood supporters, we'll see what we can do about changing the result at this stage, because it's 63 plays 42 with East Burwood break out of the defensive zone up towards their attacking zone now, close to the boundary line and out of bounds. So Danny Lee saw it out of bounds, so boundary throwing.
It was a sign too that East Burwood, White started at full forward, and they got a couple of goals and they've moved him straight into defence or onto the ball at least anyway to get him back into the action.
So 21 points in this match. Shoots out to Danny Lee, little chip, just overshot the mark and out of bounds on the full. A bit of frustration.
I think there's the East Ringwood fans giving Danny Lee a bit of RP up with that kick.
They were praying for a bit of divine intervention, Bob, I think, at some stage. John Dinny now with the ball, centering the grandstand side, right in front of our commentary position. As we can see, the ground, the Bayswater Oval, bathed in beautiful sunshine. Now up towards the left forward pocket. Danny Lee in defence. Dropped the ball out of his lap. taken to ground. We'll try to get the ball moving, but it's all locked up, and umpire Jason Kennedy will come in to bounce it again. So as Bob said, nobody's left this match because they know exactly what could happen, as we've seen the start of this term with East Ringwood stamping a little bit of, or putting a bit more pressure on the scoreboard as Cam Taylor sees the ball over the boundary line.
Well, we've got an interesting situation, Peter, because East Burwood just can't defend that narrow lead. They've just got to keep the pedal to the metal, haven't they?
Yeah, they do. They can't try and defend it. It's a certain way to lose a football game. I think they've just got to keep doing what they've been doing for the first 3 quarters, but I think East Ringwood are going to have something to do with that.
So Knight with a bit of run goes into the centre. So now East Ringwood have a couple of opportunities up forward, out towards the left forward pocket. Shears the target. Over the back was McMaster, but he's beaten by Slater. It's Adam Slater.
I think you'll find Slater playing a lot from the centre back for the remaining minutes in this quarter, just to shore up the back line.
And towards Martin on the outer side. Now to Lucas Slater.
Yes, Peter, when they get tired, they don't get any shorter, do they?
No, not at all, not at all.
John Dinny is found. His opponent, Danny Lee, was hot on his heels, but just couldn't get in front. So ball with John Dinny, outer side. Comes up towards the right forward pocket. White for East Burwood was underneath the fall of the ball, but not close enough, and the boundary line is found.
Look, if they take advantage of Slater staying in defence, they're basically playing a loose man in defence. If they can just run the ball, whoever's loose is going to be able to run the ball through the midfield and try and create kicking over the lines. They're a chance to kick goals.
So getting out of that ruck contest, Hewson sees it over the boundary line once again. 9:63 plays, East Ringwood 5-12-42, 8.5 minutes play, Bob.
We're on the outer side. Adam White doing the ruck work for East Burwood, with Adam Slater back there in defence, as Peter Maloney has mentioned. So Adam White and Hewson to do battle over there. Coghlan had a hand in it, but round the corner goes Ash Martin with a bit of an up and under kick, but as you can see, that's terribly wide. In fact, it's over the boundary line on the full, and that will be an East Ringwood free kick deep down into their defensive 50 area. East Ringwood, no, I was going to say they weren't getting any leads, but they certainly did get that little one there from Danny Lee.
So McMaster's playing on Slater now. McMaster should try and run him around as much as he can.
Oh, look at that. That's Grayling by the look of him. Shears, sorry, yeah. Shears, he finally pulled one of those down. It's down hard up against that East Ringwood 50. Its impact is just in 50. Players coming in from everywhere. Umpire Lawson has found an infringement, and it will go to East Burwood, and I think it's Arthur Son. Not much of this lad, but boy, it's all quality. Arthurson decides to go wide over there, but he's turned that one over, and that gives East Ringwood an opportunity through Jabba Clark. In his 200th game for East Ringwood, in he comes into 50. Oh, gee, Gafer caught behind, and Douglas has taken the mark. So Adam Douglas from the true centre half forward position, Mountain Highway end. East Ringwood have already kicked 2 for the quarter. East Burwood haven't changed their score from half time. There's 21 points in the ball game. What will this kick give us? So Adam Douglas, in he comes. He tries to steer it through. Umpire hasn't moved. That is a goal. Boy, oh boy, the East Ringwood roll is on.
Actually, Douglas has worked pretty hard since half time, all day actually. He's been hasn't had a lot of blokes helping him out, but he's worked extremely hard. He hasn't stopped working, so it's good to see him finish off like that.
Okay, so we're now 11 minutes into this last quarter. East Burwood 9-9-63. East Ringwood are 12-12.
12-12?
I'm sorry. East Ringwood 6-12.
I was going to say,
yeah,
that'll be the story of the day.
6-12-48, East Ringwood, 9-9-63, East Burwood.
Adam Slater with the ball in the centre of the ground. An air of expectancy has fallen over the crowd, as nobody's really surprised at the fact that East Ringwood are getting more of the footy and being more productive with it. Out towards Hooper on the outer side. Managed to break free. Goodale will see it over the boundary line. So nobody complaining at the fact that we've got a closer contest.
White just playing loose across half-back now.
15-point ball game in the Division 1 Grand Final for season 2002. Coming through is Martin. He's met very hard. East Ringwood have some runners now up towards centre half forward, but Arthurson, who's been sensational all day, does very well. Out towards Shears, breaks through 50, takes one bounce, hand pass over the top to Douglas, open goal, East Ringwood goal!
Well, that roll is definitely on, guys.
9-point ball game in the Division 1 Grand Final.
Did we tip this?
Fantastic effort.
Look, the on-ballers, the midfielders, look, they've worked hard, but they haven't really gotten on top at many stages. But until now, they're really on top now. And the good thing is they're just driving the ball long. They're putting the East Burwood defenders under pressure. And before, they were just chipping it around and going wide. And East Burwood were able to pick it off at their leisure. Now, they're under a lot of pressure.
So East Burwood 9-9-63 play East Ringwood 7-12-54. Bob, a very close contest, which is what we love to see. 12.5 played.
12.5 played and 9 points the difference as umpire Kennedy bangs the Sharon down once again. Boy, oh boy, Slater takes it out of the ruck. He's back in business again. Handballs it forward. He was looking for John Denny, couldn't find him. Hollow got it forward. Round the corner, there goes Hislop. It's long, it's high. Goodall! Goodall in front of the pack. Boy, I wouldn't have given him, I wouldn't have been lucky where he was, but he has taken the mark.
Great effort from Slater out of the middle. His ability just to grab the ball out of the middle is just fantastic. And I think you really have to make a contest there at the centre bounces. Even if you're not going to win the clear tap, you've just got to make a contest.
Okay, so Heath Goodale yet to kick a goal. Boy, oh boy, this is making it interesting if he can kick this one. 9 points the difference plus Goodale. Let's rip. That's not going to be anything.
The breeze picked up.
Whoa, Luke Slater, round he goes, gets hands off there to Hollow round the corner. Couldn't find Houlihan. Josh Davies in underneath, he got run over. Off the ground there by Ash Martin. Whoa, one behind. Wowee. Well, as we said, guys, not one person has left this ground, and I don't blame them. Talk about getting your money's worth. East Ringwood now come back in. McMaster in underneath Hislop, and he has taken the mark. Off the half-back flank, outer side. Boy, oh boy, here come East Ringwood again. Off hands there. It was Knight close to the boundary line, and that will be a throw-in. We've played 14.5 minutes into this last quarter. 9-10-64 East Burwood. 7-12-54. 10 points in the ball game.
That's right, Bob. 10-point margin. About midway through this final term. As the boundary umpire gets us underway again, Adam Slater got 2 hands to it, but I think the boundary line will be met again, and we will have another boundary throwing.
Well, this is a very important clearance, this one. If East Ringwood can take it away, get a shot on goal, it really keeps the momentum going for them. If it goes the other way, it could really break their back.
So it will be very interesting. Slater again against McMaster. But only as far as Goodale. High ball, up and under, up towards the right forward flank. Nobody took the mark. Punch clear. As East Ringwood try and break through. Picked up. East Burwood now up towards centre half forward. The race is on forward, kicking to space. Houlihan's home at centre half forward. Darts around his opponent. Does 2 blind turns. A spiral punt up towards the full forward region. There's nobody there. And punch through and over for a boundary throw-in. So not a bad effort from Houlihan on that occasion.
Pressure on the East Ringwood defence now.
That's right. So here's the boundary throw-in. And towards Fraser, back to Hollow, little chip kick along. East Ringwood have some numbers in defence. Trying to clear. Hewson, they dive on top of it, will have the ball up. So a good effort. Crowd on their toes. 15 or 16 minutes played now. 10-point margin, 9-10-64 plays East Ringwood, 7-12-54. There's notes being passed left, right, centre in terms of best on ground for today for the award. Oh, I think there's little doubt about that. Hand pass back to Fraser now. Kicks clear. Up towards Jabba Clark. Punched away and out of play for a boundary throw-in. Right.
16.5 minutes gone, Andrew. Still 10 points the difference.
That's right, and still around about 10 minutes to play, as we've noted in the quarters already gone. I mean, the quarter's been playing 26, 27 minutes. Slater out of the ruck, hand pass off. Jabba Clark at the contest as well as Smith for East Burwood. Back towards O'Malley. High ball up towards centre half forward. Hollow. at centre half forward for East Burwood. Comes out to the pocket, and a good mark taken by Davies. Yep. So very important shot on goal.
I'm sorry, is this lob?
So it is deep in the pocket though.
This just gets them back on track. I mean, they've got to expect East Ringwood to mount a bit of a challenge, but what this is going to do, just get them back on track, hopefully settle them down, and they can finish the game off strongly.
So it's a 10-point margin, this to make it 16 in favour of East Burwood. It's drifting across the face, not enough on it on that occasion. 3 for 1 behind. 11-point ball game. East Burwood 9-11-65 to East Ringwood 7-12-54.
Well, East Ringwood have kicked 4 for the quarter, 4 goals that is, and East Burwood just the 2 behinds. So it's still anybody's game here at the 17.5-minute mark of the last quarter. Pardon me. Lee brings it back in with a high kick to the wing on the outer side here. Hollow from behind, couldn't get it, but Houston certainly does. He's held up, couldn't get a clear disposal of it. Bazaglo, he leads in the race right there, but whoa, boy, oh boy. Offhand, she comes close to the boundary line, and that will be a throw-in right in front of our commentary position. 18 minutes gone in the quarter. The crowd absolutely electrified here, and I'm sure I heard about another 300 cans of the Green-Belly Tinfish open, Andrew. Ball now right in front of our commentary position here. Crowley gets it forward, down there into 50. Arthurson, or it wasn't Arthur, it was Nielsen in front of the pack. Shears has got it, gets hands off. Over there to McCormick. McCormick sets sail. Oh, that's a goal! McCormick has kicked the goal. That's his first for the game. The 5th goal for the quarter to East Ringwood, and boy, oh boy, we have a 4-point ball game.
Look, that's exactly what happened early on in the quarter. He tried to spot up Porter, didn't make the target. Porter did drop the mark. He's turned around, same scenario, shot on goal, straight through the middle.
Wow, 5 goals straight for the last quarter, East Ringwood. East Burwood 2 behinds. Let's see what East Burwood can do with it now. Boy, oh boy, talk about a fingernail biting exercise, this one.
Centre
a whistle
square.
on play, too many players in the centre square. Adam slated to take it for East Burwood. I guess he's got to go long. No, he decides to go short. Who's he looking for? Hollow, but it won't make him. Ball over there. Abbas Hislop trying hard, but East Ringwood are going to clear it off that half-back flank. East Ringwood now down. Shears in front, punched away there by Nielsen. Down, but John Knight just picks it up as a pot shot. Who's there? Porter couldn't mark it. Ball to the front of the pack. Players diving in on top of it. East Ringwood, gee, they got a chance in here again. White, whoa, boy, oh boy. Couldn't quite pull it out of the fire, Adam White. And umpire Mark Lawson will bounce it 30 metres out from the East Ringwood goal.
Well, we've spoken of important ruck contests, perhaps no more important than this one. White got his fist to it for East Burwood, now out of the defensive zone, but only as far as Crowley. Shot on goal is well and truly offline, out of bounds on the full.
We would be disappointed with that. He certainly would have made the distance.
Oh, gee, so things are getting very, very fast and furious. Bazaglo punches out of the arms of Matthews Herald, and another ruck contest to emerge from this boundary throw-in.
Zaglo's also done well in this quarter. They've played through him quite a bit. He's taken his marks and he's given him a bit of drive.
9-11-65 plays East Ringwood, 8-12-60. So it's a 5-point margin, all locked up again. We'll have another ball up.
Into time on, Andrew.
Yep, 20.5 minutes played. The umpire's very quick on the time on, time off. Umpire Mark Lawson throws the ball up again, and East Burwood just searching for the boundary line, as you'd expect.
Well, they've brought Downs on now. Obviously trying to take a punt now. He's a designated goal kicker, so they're trying to take a punt now.
So could it be a 1-point margin? So victory to East Ringwood. Matthews Herald, a little chip away to absolutely nobody. And the umpire says, we're not going to be too controversial. We'll let you throw it back in.
I think all he can see was a sea of blue jumpers.
So with the boundary umpire again. Slater, but only as far as Shears. Kick away, up towards Taylor and Bazaglo. Overstepped the mark, up towards Houston now. Houston got his hands clear off towards the outer side. Lee has pushed up. A little kick away by Davies now to space. The run is on forward, out towards Hooper. Hooper manages to just pick it up and do very well. Manages to gather and just tuck it under his arm up towards Crowley. They steady. Martin on the mark. East Ring up towards the left forward flank. Porter under the mark. Great mark, Porter. So Porter will go back for to at least put them into the attacking zone. The lead is on. Up towards Fraser. Couldn't mark it. East Ringwood have some numbers at the ball. Out towards Crowley. Crowley's free. Little left foot kick. Finds Young. Directly in front, Young. This to put East Ringwood in front in the grand final. This is what kids in the streets dream about at their local clubs. To go back in a grand final, dying stages of the match, to put their side in front by 1 point. It's 5 points down East Ringwood. This to make it 1 point margin. East Ringwood have hit the front.
Good time. A great time to hit front, stint of time on and then peppering away. And what a fantastic effort by Crowley. He's just been crumbing. He hasn't always hit the target, but he's always had his ball to boot, and he gets it down there and puts East Burwood backman under pressure.
Well, Bobby Young, where else would you want to be than local football with a 1 point margin in the grand final in Division 1? East Ringwood 9-12-66, lead East Burwood 9-11-65.
That was the third goal of the game to Danny Young, and the sixth goal for the quarter to East Ringwood. And as Andrew said, a point the difference here. It's electric. Back in the centre, it's all locked up there. And umpire Mark Henry Lawson will come in and ball it up once again. Not one person has left this ground by, gee, what a game it is. Slater tries to take it out of the ruck, an awkward looking bounce. Slater tried to go through, didn't get the ball, and that will be an East Ringwood free kick. It will go to McCormick. McCormick right in the centre of the ground. He's going to go long down there, looking for Porter. No.
He's got the free kick.
Yes, he has. Whoa. Yes, umpire Kennedy. It was a 1-on-2 situation against Porter, but he certainly did get the free kick. Looks as though he's got a bit of a limp up there too, guys.
Well, I think in the context of this match, a goal here would make a 7 point margin very, very desirable. I mean, all we need is a quick turnover up towards the other end, and we're back to a 5 point margin. So a goal here to East Ringwood, you would think, would guarantee them, I reckon, would guarantee them almost the premiership.
Well, it'll be certainly close to it. Now, Porter's going to take a run up longer than Dennis Lilly. He'll kick from about no more than 30 metres out, and he is standing at 70, so a 40-metre run up. So in we go. Porter now. He lets one go, tries to steer it towards goal. Everybody likes it. Porter has kicked it. Gee, East Ringwood are going to be hard to peg back from there. Wowee, what a game of footy we have on our hands here.
Look, he's been quiet for the most part of the day, Porter, but what a great time to come up and kick a goal for your team and get you 7 points up.
Unbelievable. 24 and a half minutes gone. East Burwood were just the two behinds for the quarter. East Ringwood have kicked 7 goals straight. No question about who is steamrolling home. So East Ringwood 10-12-73, leading East Burwood 9-11-65.
So back in the middle, as Bob said, a 7 point margin all locked up.
Have you noticed the last 2 centre bounces? The ball's gone East Ringwood's way both times.
Yes.
Not superstitious, eh?
No, not at all.
25 minutes played in this final term. Back in the middle, out of it through Nielsen, up towards Hollow, almost a mark taken at centre half forward. Still at centre half forward for East Burwood, inside the centre square. They manage to soccer it on. The runners are at the ball. Crowley now for East Ringwood. Darts in towards Porter. Picked up on the half volley for East Ringwood by Douglas. In towards goal. Douglas for East Ringwood. There's the premiership. East Ringwood will go out premiers for season 2002 in Division 1. 11-12-79 East Ringwood to East Burwood 9-11-65. That's the premiership.
It wasn't a good kick into the forward 50. He's picked it up on the half volley, had a look over his shoulder. Great shot on goal.
Well, that was 4 goals for the game to Adam Douglas, and that was 8 goals straight to East Ringwood. East Burwood just the 2 behinds, and I agree with you guys. I don't see East Burwood getting back at this point. We've played 26 minutes in. Ball back in the centre. McMaster tried to take it out. Shears got it across. East Burwood have it through Adam White. He goes long into 50. Grayling at the back of the pack just hooked it over there. Good effort there by Grayling. East Ringwood to relieve the pressure. Coming down now, back into the centre of the ground. Slater couldn't take it out of the ruck. McMaster has it, takes the bounce, an awkward one. Then lets rip from 50. It's on line. It's a goal! 9-goal last quarter to East Ringwood. Fantastic finish.
Well, I don't think we've seen as good a final term or finish. And that's a siren, I think. No. We get confused. It's very hard to hear.
Andrew, East Ringwood have kicked 9 goals in the last quarter, and East Burwood have only kicked 9 goals for the whole game.
Look, that was crucial, that midfield. Slater was left standing still, and the big fellas just come through, and McMaster just left him for dead.
So 27 minutes gone in this final term. East Ringwood move out 12-12-84 to East Burwood 9-11-65. An appropriate time to say hello again to Chris and Diane, who will be receiving this on the other side of the world. East Ringwood supporters and a red yellow card.
John Denny.
A bit of frustration, but the only blemish perhaps for the day that we've seen. A bit unfortunate, so Denny coming off. And he's just, as we can hear, receiving it from the crowd. But always a good contributor for East Burwood, John Denny Antonio, as we're with McCormick. Just on the corner of the square, up towards the left forward flank. Out comes Shears, and take a great mark, Shears.
Look, Shears has played a similar role to Houlihan today. Like, he's been dangerous. I don't know how many goals he's kicked, Bob, but he's gone for everything. He's gone for everything. He's given his all. He's got the claret on the head as well to prove that he's had a go today. And you know, they're all standing up now.
So 28 minutes gone. 19-point margin. Shears attempted the top, didn't come off, up towards the tip of the goal square, falls down towards the crummers, and the players dive on top of it, will have a ball up. Very late stages of this Division 1 grand final. 84 plays 65. East Ringwood will run out victors for season 2002 in sensational fashion.
They've done it like this all year, haven't they?
Yes, they have.
Jason Kennedy throws it down again. White with his hands on it for East Burwood, up towards centre half forward. McMaster, little chip out towards Crowley. There's the siren. East Ringwood victorious for season 2002. Crowley's kick after the siren. Sensational fashion to finish the game. Crowley's goal. East Ringwood premiers for season 2002. 13 goals, 12.90 to East Burwood 9-11-65. As we said, the Roos are hopping mad as the supporters and players of the reserves and under-18s come flooding onto the ground to support their team. They are victorious in fantastic fashion, Bob.
Fantastic last quarter there. 10-goal last quarter to East Ringwood, and East Burwood only kicked 9 goals in the first 3 quarters of the game. East Burwood just 2 behinds in that last quarter. Let's wrap up with the goal kickers for both sides. Firstly for East Ringwood, Adam Douglas, a terrific performance there with 4 goals. Danny Young got 3, and Cameron Crowley got 3. For East Burwood will only cover the multiples. Ash Martin got 4. Damien Houlihan, electric in the first quarter, then went out of the game. He got 3 goals, but a fantastic grand final, guys. The Division 1 grand final of the season 2002. And that score, once again, East Ringwood victorious, 13-12-90, and they've defeated East Burwood 9-11-65. Andrew, thank you for your help in the commentary there today, and a special thanks to our comments man today. Did a terrific job too, Peter Maloney from the Croydon Footy Club.
Of course, Bob, East Ringwood's first premiership since 1984. It's been a pleasure, and Peter and Bob, good afternoon to you.
the roost, the roost. And the Waffle Club is nearly full, but they'll be room for you. So take a trip to Ringwood East before the gates are shut. And we'll be there at the end of the year. All the roosts got your back.
Don't get excited, it's not a
Come on, boys, come on. Good lad. Hey, geez.